Good evening, everybody. I can't speak as usual, and welcome to a very special post-Blizzcon episode of Battle Talk, also known as episode 23. I'm your host, Mike, and joining me once again from the comfort of a plane seat doesn't look comfortable, but that's Dom. That's Dom.
And you're muted.
That's Dom.
Sorry, I was scooching back into my chair. Had to get back from the aisle. You get a nice view of the plane, right? Flying home.
Yeah, right. So, when do you land?
Yesterday.
So magical. How do you drown out all the noise from the engines? Okay, then.
He pays for the premium internet on the plane.
The premium
Yes.
internet on
The
the plane.
$30 for the day.
Clearly.
Now,
Obviously.
also joining, as usual, is this guy, Cody,
What up?
with a lovely background.
I know.
I know.
I'm not going to say her name because someone in chat really wants to see
Oh, no,
wants
Ixter's
to
losing
say
his
her
mind
name,
right
so
now.
I'm not going to say her name.
He is losing his marbles right now. Now, I'm cutting Cody's introduction short because you may have heard another unusual voice. That is our very special guest for this evening. Joining us once again is Mr. Cage.
I am, still here in Anaheim. Trying to figure out where everybody went, man. The
what?
Hilton's been dead. Man, they won't let me back in the building. I just need to be picked up so I can be taken to the airport so I can go home. Is anyone in town?
I'll come get you. I'll come get you. I'm an hour and a half away.
I'm here.
Just
I'll be
stay
here.
there. Don't move. I'll
Wait.
be right there.
Does that include the hour and a half for me doing the show right now, or just the time?
We got to finish the
Oh,
show.
yeah, you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to
We
wait.
gotta
till
finish the
after
show.
It's 4
I'm gonna
hours.
turn this plane around.
4 hours. I'll be sitting here waiting.
Pretty much, just because, maybe even longer, because traffic in LA is horrid. So I'll probably get stuck in traffic. So you may be there for like 8 hours.
Ew.
All right. It's fine. It's fine. At least it's nice. It's still. It's
fine.
It's
He's good.
bright. I mean, it's nighttime, but it's California. It's always bright here. So
These three lunatics and their green screens, and I'm just here with a nice postery background.
Hey, that poster's epic.
I love that
That
poster.
poster's crooked.
My camera's crooked, everybody don't listen to him. I can't... The camera already took a swan dive in pre-show. I'm not messing with it. So, as obvious, BlizzCon, post-BlizzCon episode. All four of us were there.
And I've got the BlizzCon blues.
oh my god, it was amazing.
Yeah, I
It
got
was
the
amazing.
feels.
So my first question before we get into this is, how many of you guys caught the con crud?
I feel great.
I'm still good.
My wife did.
Yeah. I felt
Omikins-
worse there than I did at home. Which wait, hold, I'm still here. Never mind. Great.
Good catch.
I mean, I feel the RP here. Ooh.
I may have lost my voice for a brief period of time at the Metallica concert.
I may have
Oh.
lost part of my hearing for a brief time after the
Oh,
Metallica
I
concert.
think everybody lost their hearing. And
I'm not sure what was louder, the bass at the concert or the bass upstairs at the World of Warcraft movie sample.
Oh, that's another good point.
That
movie
sound
sample.
but they're
Crazy
close.
loud.
Yeah, well, they said they custom built, they custom designed the sound system in that theater just for that.
It was epic, though.
It was awesome, though.
It was really awesome, but we'll get into that. So BlizzCon, we'll start with this, and then we'll move on. So, what you guys think?
Epic. In
As usual,
many more ways than one.
pretty
I mean,
friggin'
let me
epic.
cut in. To be honest with you, the con was the con. It's
It's
the same as the year before. What made it epic was the fact that everybody went this year.
Yes.
Yeah, there were a lot of people there.
It was huge. I mean, I went last year when you went to the after parties. It was a good amount of people, but this year it was just insane.
Yeah, post
Yeah. Last year I think was my favorite. My favorite. It was my first BlizzCon, so it's always gonna hold like a little special part, whatever for me. But I felt like I was able to enjoy it a lot more last year because there was less of us, like our group of people. It was more personal, it was more individual, and going somewhere wasn't a big problem because you didn't have an entourage of 20 people following you everywhere you went.
Very true.
And then as the days started going on, less and less people started showing up, and everybody was kind of doing their own thing, which is completely fine. But then it got to the point where I realized, like, it was like the final day, and I think I saw Mike and Nikki like twice. It's like I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, coordinating group activities was a hell of a lot harder because we had a group of like 20 something people this year, and and then we met so many new people there, like Cage.
Oh yeah,
who we just found sitting at a bar
Cage
in the
is
Hilton.
totally brand new. He's never been on this show before.
I'm sitting at the bar with a couple people from. I'm sitting next to Silver Lotomi, who
we also met.
Right. And all of a sudden, I feel a group of people right behind me.
Oh, hovering.
That was the most epic thing ever.
And I turned around, and all I hear is Cage, and I'm like, "Oh man!" And that night never ended. It was, well, it did end, and it we're not going to talk about the rest of that night, but but it was good. It was a good night, man. We had a lot of fun, and then it just kept rolling from there. I mean,
it never stopped.
I tried to spend as much time with as many people as I possibly could, but
So did
man, there's so many people from so many guilds. It was
Cage, I think I saw you the first night. I saw you once at the actual con. It was for the Warcraft panel, the movie panel, and then I saw you like
Saturday
the last night just before we left. Yeah.
That's about the same here. I mean,
I was everywhere though. It was crazy.
we all had to be
Crazy.
everywhere.
I ran into a Silver Lotomi like 1,000 times. And then there's people I wanted to see, I didn't see at all. So
so what you're trying to say is you didn't want to see Silver
Let me
Lotomi.
rephrase that. I really wanted to see Lotomi, but I kept running into her, and then there's people that I'm like, where are my other friends? And I just missed them the whole weekend. So it was crazy. Hold on, I have a foot I need to pull out of my mouth because I messed that all up. Hold on. All right. So it was a great time, man. I had so much fun.
So we have a series of questions here related to BlizzCon. I'm actually going to work questions into the middle of the show instead of rapid firing them at the end, because that'll take a half hour with all the ones we got. So, in no particular order, starting off, we have a question from Crenexivus, who is Guildmaster of our Alliance Gamebreaker Nation Guild, which we'll talk about in a minute. Here's one for you guys. Out of everything you saw at BlizzCon, what is the most memorable thing? Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, I got this.
Metallica concert.
No, at least for me, like personally, I went there I was on a mission when I went to BlizzCon, and that was to do as much networking with devs, community managers as I could possibly do. And I literally got to meet the entire community management team for Heroes of the Storm. So Trixler, Catalyst, Spirion, Rocket. Got to meet one of the artists for Heroes, Elizabeth Sampone. Sorry if I mispronounced your last name. And then I got to meet the actual game designer for Heroes of the Storm. And I literally talked to all of them on how I could be part of their team, because that's what I want to do. That's the game I want to work on as soon as I'm done with school, is to work on that game. And it literally just gave me as much advice as I could possibly get. Then at the Wowhead party, I ran into Dave Kosak, who's the lead game, like the lead. I got the card somewhere. He was lead game designer on World of Warcraft, and literally I told him I was doing school to be a game designer. He goes, "Oh, here's my card. Email me." I was like,
Okay.
My BlizzCon's now set. I'm like, I am now satisfied. I ran to Mumper, Corey Stockton, who's another game designer for World of Warcraft. Talked to him for about 10 minutes on what I need to do to be a good game designer and stuff like that. So, all in all, this BlizzCon was a huge success for me as far as networking goes. So that was my most memorable time, was actually getting to meet the entire Heroes team.
I was there when you met half of them, and probably a very memorable moment was getting chain hugged by Trixler, Catalyst, and Spirion.
Yeah, they're like Trixler's like, I don't even like hugs, but Catalyst is like, here, you gotta hug everybody. So I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. I've been playing Heroes with Trixler for about months now. Not so much anymore. When the alpha first released, but it was fun. It was fun to finally meet the guy.
That was my memorable moment.
related to
no, it was
BlizzCon,
this-
I don't know.
I was gonna say, is it our most memorable moment of the BlizzCon convention itself, or the whole trip?
See, of the
Just
convention itself, I don't know, because there were a lot of awesome things. Of the trip itself, that feeling of deafness leaving the concert,
Oh my god. the
you
concert.
pieing one of our
Yeah,
guild mates in the face?
Pieing B. Sarah, I need to talk to you as soon as the show's over.
Okay.
I need to talk to
Here.
Sarah.
Oh,
Here we
hold
go.
on, hold on.
Oh.
Let me just set this in tone real quick.
Oh, I was going to tell the
A
story.
couple
Go
weeks
for it.
ago, a couple weeks before BlizzCon, we all went to an amusement park together, and B was there, and we went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and she took the lime wedge out of her drink and chucked it across the table at me, hit me in the face. I had lime juice in my hair. I had chunks of lime in my hair. It was just everywhere. It was disgusting. So I told her I was going to get her back. Just didn't tell her when. So
Oh, yeah.
we went down to eat at this place across from the Annabella, Coco's, I think it was, and they specialize in pies. So I told the waitress I'd tip her $20 if she gave me a whipped cream pie to pie in B's face, and she came out with a pie of whipped cream, and that's exactly what I did.
Well,
So,
she
we're
came
even
out
now.
after the manager came over, looked at us, and goes, "Hi, are you guys serious?"
It's just you could have spent $1.99 and just made it yourself. Man.
I could have, but I was kind of torturing her throughout the rest of the meal or whatever, so I figured the tip was a nice offset for my behavior that night. So
Yeah. Well, then she eventually started chucking whipped cream at all of us. She tried to hit you, completely missed and hit me.
That
Really?
was that
Oh,
was
yeah,
great.
The
that was-
window behind me.
All of a sudden, I look and Cody's got whipped cream all over him.
yeah, totally missed me.
Needless
It
to
went
say-
completely around both sides of my head. Completely.
I told
missed.
V I was gonna get her
Um,
back, and I just didn't tell her when it was gonna happen. So
But yeah, that was a good moment. But my personal favorite moment is I was screwing around with Shaftnet, and I was like talking to him and distracting him and stuff like that. And then he was ignoring me later. I was trying to tell him something, and he's like, "Give me a minute, whatever." He did this to me like 2 times. So I took a picture with his girlfriend, and I sent it out on Twitter, and I go, "Shaftnet, your move," or whatever. And then I grabbed her and sat her on my lap, and we took a picture, and I was like doing a kiss pose to her or whatever. And as I'm tweeting it out to Shaftnet, he turns around and sees it in the act, like sees her on my lap. It was actually before I started tweeting. It was when the picture was still being taken, and he just screams, "Zesta, I'm going to kill you!" So that was my favorite moment.
That was actually a good moment watching that unfold. Oh my
crazy.
god.
I'm sad I missed that.
okay, so the
I
Wowhead
have-
part. Let's before we start any of this, let's go ahead and talk about this. I was first in line.
You were.
I was.
No,
I was first in
no,
line.
You
Yes.
were not first in line.
Yes, I was. I was first
again.
in line. You stole my seat. I was literally sitting on the ground, and you're like, "Oh, look, seats." You just stole the first one there. I was first in
You
line.
weren't sitting on the ground. You were standing.
And then we got,
You were standing.
And then we got into a big
You were
fight.
standing, and you may have been in front of me standing until I sat down.
They were
we got
both
in-
first in
and then we got
line.
interviewed, and they're like, "How does it feel to be number one?" She was interviewing you, and I jumped in. That was so much fun.
Out of
It
the
was-
party,
Oh, man.
I went
Yeah, that's just the
inside
party.
before we got admitted. I locked her outside with everybody else, and I stood against the door, and I was like, "Nope, you're not getting back in."
All right, before we embarrass more people, let me talk about what I was most memorable about the whole BlizzCon experience.
Go for it.
All right, so after the movie screening upstairs, I stopped by. Mike Shaftman was recording for the legendary YouTube channel, and I did my little bit, and they put it in the. I got cut in. I'm in it. You can go check it out right now.
It's on YouTube.
I'm on YouTube over at Legendary Pictures. Go check it out. It's like a 3-minute little BlizzCon movie at BlizzCon segment. That was
It was
pretty
cool.
exciting.
That was a cool segment that
So,
they did.
but to tell you the truth, though, the most exciting thing was actually making new friends. I met so many amazing people, not just the people I went to see, but I met so many people I had no idea existed that were just phenomenal.
So I'm gonna play off that. I'm gonna play off that
Yeah.
new friends thing. I met this cool ass dude. You know, he was at the Hilton sitting there, is I don't know, his name began with a K and ended with an E. He was just this awesome dude. You know, we went up to him, we kept going, "Hi, my name's Ken Heels."
Hi, my name's Mike.
That was me. They're talking about me, people. So
It's the running
yeah,
joke all night.
I met all the guys here at Game Breaker Nation. It was awesome. Sarai and B and everyone here. I mean, you guys were just so welcoming. It was just such good fun. And then I met people just randomly. I spent some good time with some people from CTR, which I have never met previously, that were just awesome. And then like Noel Love and there's a couple other people. I mean, it's just there's so many people.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway, gotta move on.
You're bringing up the feels again, man. You're gonna
Yeah,
stop.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
move this along before more
Can we
feels hit us.
segue into actual BlizzCon and we can come back to the parties and stuff later?
Yes, I'm gonna scoot through a couple of our last Twitter questions here and then move on to an actual topic. First question. This is a quick answer. What do you think was the most exciting news revealed at BlizzCon this year? Overwatch.
Overwatch.
Goblins versus
I
gnomes.
like it.
Well, you're
All right.
a Hearthstone player, so of course you're gonna say that.
Both of them.
I'm honestly more excited for Goblins versus Gnomes than I am Overwatch, but I'm really, really excited for Overwatch.
Now
Bring
that
that up later.
I mean, to think about it, to think the way that you're thinking, Zista. I mean, honestly, I'm more excited for what's coming up in Heroes of the Storm. And everybody knows, like, I'm a big Heroes player. You know, that's my game.
Right.
But
So-
as far as the news that came out for Heroes, I am most excited for that.
Yeah, and I got my hands on Thrall and the Lost Vikings in the game, which we'll talk about in a little while. And, oh, so much fun.
So much.
Anyway,
I
last
unfortunately
Twitter...
didn't get a chance to play any of the hero stuff, but that's because there was so much stuff to do, so many people to see, and I have Heroes access, so I'll just wait until those characters come available.
Yep.
Which we'll get into it later. So
Here we go.
just-
This is from Duda, who also joined us, and he does graphics and a whole bunch of other stuff behind the scenes for Gamebreaker. And in this picture, I'm warning you, our total, not total wasn't even there yet. Our Dom, Zista, and
I'm
Cage,
here.
and B, and Silver Latomi. And the the question is, what is happening here? And this is the picture.
Isn't that a baby bottle antifreeze
So
filled baby bottle?
That is
we're all playing Cards Against Humanity, and
which is on the floor. You can't really
having
see
a
it
couple
under
of adult
Dom.
beverages. I believe there's vodka in that bottle. Oh no! This is. Oh, hold on. No, this is Mike's pink lemonade.
Drinking from it now. Yes, Mike's hard pink lemonade.
From a baby bottle.
This was Lack's fault, as she says in chat.
Yeah,
It was
Black
all
and
her
then-
fault.
Yeah.
Sorry, Silver.
And we can't forget other people there. Omnikins was there, and who else was in that room?
We had a whole bunch. Sarai, B, the four of us, Omikins, Lack, Silver, Lumi, and someone else. There's another pick in the conversation. Oh, yeah, I'm getting yelled at to show the other picture in the conversation that was replied to. Here we go. It is now closed because I'm bad at Twitter. This is from another angle.
Yeah, that would be Silver Latomi feeding me out of the baby bottle.
This is so great.
You can't start off a BlizzCon better than that.
This was Wednesday. This was before
Yeah.
anything happened.
That was pre-show, and yeah. So what was it? It was that one in there, and then a bottle of antifreeze went in there, aka Fireball whiskey. So yeah, it was a fun time.
All right.
But-
So now we're going to move on to actual meat and potatoes. And the last how many weeks? 3-4 weeks we've been talking almost about nothing else but World of Warcraft because Warlords drops in less than 2 days. There's a
Tomorrow
timer.
I cannot
Yeah.
wait.
There's a timer on MMO Champion, and I think it's at less than 30 hours right now.
I'm just curious. Who's planning on taking a nap all day tomorrow so they can be up all night?
I wish.
what I want.
I have work Thursday. It sucks.
Okay, so are we gonna? Are you gonna announce your little thing that you're doing for Thursday?
Okay, so
Okay, we'll do that now then.
can't heals
because Cage kind of segued
No,
into
you're
it,
right.
so.
He did. Do it. Let's do it.
Ken Hills was originally asking if I was interested in doing a 24-hour stream for Warlords of Draenor.
Ooh.
Typically, I am all for that because you guys know I've done many 24-hour streams.
Choo choo.
I would love to do one. And
I hear, but
I still need to finalize one thing. If I can maneuver one thing around, it will happen.
Well,
So, I'm gonna say it's about a 90% chance that it's going to happen. So
Cool.
that's nice. It won't for me.
Well, obviously, you already said that I was going to do a 24 hours. So, I mean, we can even do, you and I will be streaming.
if not minimum 20 hours, I'll be able to do that no problem.
Yeah.
It's very
So-
nice.
So
24-hour stream. I'm going to start when the game goes live, which I think is midnight PST. So as soon as it goes live, I'll start
3
streaming.
p.m.
Probably,
Eastern. Yeah.
yeah, probably a little bit earlier just to get the the pre 24-hour stream party going on. But
Yep.
if you're able to do it, then I guess we'll do a multi Twitch so we can get some different perspectives on what we're doing. So
Yep.
Sounds good.
And as I was leading up, we talk almost all about World of Warcraft the last few weeks. That's going to be our tiniest subject this week, if you can believe it or not. Warlords releases in less than 2 days. We've talked it to death. There's nothing more to say. And if you're interested in more information, there is a Q&A tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time on World of Warcraft's Twitch channel. I'm not sure where it is exactly, but there's another Q&A. And the other news, I'm just getting through this, there is a new charity pet. His name is Argy, a.k.a. Space Goat. It is a space goat.
he's a space goat.
He is literally a space goat.
But how much I'm trolling and raging against the space goat. It is for a good cause. 100% of the proceeds are going to the American Red Cross to help fight Ebola. So
Listen to
everyone should
that.
just go buy it just for it.
Right there.
But to also go with the World of Warcraft release of Warlords, they are in fact doing a launch party down in Irvine. So if you are in the area, go ahead and head down to the mall in Irvine. Cage, you're already at BlizzCon. It's only like another 45-minute drive.
I'm gonna start walking now.
You could probably get there by the time the party starts. And they're gonna have like the devs there to sign your collector's edition box or your regular edition box.
Wait, I have the digital edition. Am I screwed?
You don't get
Yes.
anything signed.
You could still go and say hi.
You can still go and like party with all the devs. I'm sure Chris Metzen will be
I
there.
did that the
Get
other
your
night.
arm size.
But this will be like a
sized.
mini BlizzCon where everybody's still gonna be there.
He's got a very good point.
You get free stuff. They throw T-shirts and little knickknacks. They throw video cards at you.
Well, anyway, yeah. And while we're on the subject of Warlords of Draenor, this is also a live call-in show. If you call us on Skype at GBN Live and ask a question, we'll answer it live. Didn't even talk to you on the show. One of our normal callers couldn't be here tonight, so he sent us a video question.
No, hold on. Before we get to that, we actually have a live caller on deck right now.
Seriously?
Yes.
No one tells me this stuff.
Yes.
So, live caller on deck. Let's just get him now. Hello, live caller on deck. Tell us your name, tell us your question, and something else profound.
Hi guys. My name is Mike Byrne. How are you?
Hi, Mike Byrne.
What's up, gentlemen?
Do you have a stapler?
Hello, Mike.
Hello.
So
stapler.
I've always wondered this, and maybe you guys can help me out with it. I've never understood why a bra holds two but is singular, and panties only hold one, and that's singular and that's plural. I never understood that. I don't know if it was covered at BlizzCon.
Profound
bra,
question.
that's correct.
I mean, there were plenty of bra and panties covered at BlizzCon. There's not too much to see there in that regard, but
I understand why is panties is plural.
Right. See, and bra singular. Even the proper brassiere singular, and they
Yeah,
hold two. I don't know.
you're right. It's like pair of panties, pairs of panties.
Why do
So-
ships carry cargo, and why do cars carry shipments?
Yeah, why do we drive on the parkway and park in the driveway?
Because you speak English, and it's all messed up, man.
It's all messed up.
It's all messed up.
I
Very
don't have a good
good
answer.
I don't have an answer for that either.
I wish.
Damn it! I was hoping
we need to get a
400
female on our
got up there
show.
and talked about it.
Could possibly answer that.
I don't even think I'd go ask my wife, but I don't even think she would have a good answer for that right now. Otherwise, she'd probably
I've
have
already
came in and
asked my wife.
interrupted.
She told me to get the hell away. So no, seriously, on the BlizzCon stuff though, super exciting. Super exciting event. Wasn't there, watched it all live, and good times, good times. Overwatch, obviously the big surprise announcement for most people. So I've got a two-pronged question here, guys. One, your favorite hero that was featured at BlizzCon itself, and then two, this has obviously got to be free to play, right? Heroes of the Storm targeted directly at League of Legends. Hearthstone targeted directly at the card game market. This is targeted directly at like the Team Fortress 2 type market. You can't go in there with a single box fee like they may be thinking about, right?
Okay,
I
so
had some time.
with
I waited in line and I sat down and actually talked to some of the developers. And I asked these very two specific questions. Whether it was they were aiming for free to play and whether or not it was going to end up on console. Those are the two major questions I had to ask them. They said that their current plan is they want to do free to play. They can't promise anything right now. It's very early stage of discussing, but that's what they're looking into. They said that they're looking into maybe skins and stuff for, microtransactions if that's the case, because I had mentioned the Team Fortress hats and whatnot. So they might do skins or something along those lines instead of hats, because I think hats people would rage at and have much more of a direct rip-off if they went the hat route. But I could totally see them doing skins. And as for console, which I know was not part of your question, but they said that they are currently only developing for PC right now. And he just kind of like looked at me and he goes, "We really like the direction that Diablo, or the success that Diablo has recently had on console." And he just left it at that. So
meaning it's going to come out. It's a first-person shooter, and just to play off your resist it, it's a first-person shooter. We've already seen Team Fortress on consoles back in the last generation, so it almost makes sense to put Overwatch out on consoles. It's a great area for them to make more money than they're already getting from the games that we're already playing.
Right.
I would also agree that yes, this is probably going to be a free-to-play game with all the heroes that they're going to announce. The one thing that they're doing different than Team Fortress is they're adding more heroes. So
more.
my comparison for Overwatch is think Heroes of the Storm, but in Team Fortress 2 with all the heroes that we're going to get. As far as gameplay wise, don't think that's going to be a MOBA, because it's not.
No,
gameplay wise, it's Team Fortress 2 straight up. It's
Team Fortress.
It's a direct comparison to Team Fortress 2.
But it's a hard limit of 6 versus 6.
Yes, but it's also got a lot more heroes in Team Fortress 2. Blizzard's doing a great job at adding more lore to it. So
Yeah.
for your first question, though, are we meaning heroes for
The game. I know what he means.
Overwatch or for overall games?
For Overwatch,
No, for Overwatch. For Overwatch.
right.
Overwatch, Reaper, because Reaper's a badass.
I played 6 of them. There were 12 available.
Shit, now I gotta change my favorite one because Camp Fields has the same one.
Right.
that may also be my favorite too, Burn. So you might really have to change it.
He's really cool. Like so they don't. We'll get into this when we talk about Overwatch.
I'm tied between Tracer.
Don't
who's
say
over
that
here.
word.
I'm tied between Tracer and Zenyatta.
Quit saying that word.
I'm sorry.
It's banned from our show.
No, Tracer
I-
was a hell of a lot of fun, and I destroyed people with her.
I played with Reaper for a good minute, and I really enjoyed it. So
Yeah.
Reaper is really
Here's
fun.
the problem.
He's really
Here's the problem I had with Reaper. Reaper is such a badass, like in design. He's dual wielding the guns. He's shadow stepping. He's all over the place. He has almost no health. Like
Yes,
you
he's
go
very-
in there, you're
he's very
blasting away, and then you get wiped out very, very easily.
yeah, but he's so great to take behind that. What's that one tank
he
that
is.
has the shield called again?
Reinhardt. The guy with
Yeah,
the
it's
hammer.
great to put right behind Reinhardt and take him out.
I didn't play Reinhardt, even though he's got my same last name.
I played him I played him for like 3 or 4 minutes, like through a couple deaths. He's all right. He's fun. I smashed Dom over the face with a hammer.
Yeah.
So I got to have
Yeah.
fun with that. But Tracer is who I did the best with, and is my general play style. I play Scout in Team Fortress almost exclusively, so I like that speed. And just, oh, look, I'm going this way. No, I'm going that way. Now I'm behind you. Hey, what? I just rewound the entire thing, and I'm at full health again.
Her play style is very unique. It's kind of
It's
really nice.
Yeah, the only thing my
Yeah, I really
complaint,
liked it.
and I see why they did it. My complaint is her ultimate, the pulse grenade. She throws it, and it's like she's got no throwing power. It just goes like 2 feet in front of her, like. Eh. So
you also gotta think this is like
That's the point. You're supposed to blink in there,
Yeah,
triple
and
blink,
it's a
throw it down, and then teleport out.
it's a large explosion and a sticky grenade, so you could stick it to someone for a guaranteed kill.
So,
But of the 6 I played, they all felt great. I mean, Tracer's more of my playstyle in shooters, but Symmetra felt great, Pharah felt great, Hanzo felt great. There was...
Yeah, I took an arrow to the face, not to the knee, to the face by you.
Yeah, and all of them played... They were all easy. I mean, it said, hold F1 to see how to play your hero. You hold it, it's like, all right, this button does that, and that. That's all you need to know. I'll go kill people.
Yeah. I really like that there weren't any like weapon swaps or anything like that. I like that you really had the weapon you started with. Each character played extremely differently. The thing that was a little frustrating, I was actually talking to Gary Gannon and Quinlan shortly after their play session, and Gary was like, you can't run, and like he said, I felt myself pressing shift so many times to try to run, and you just can't do it. But I think with the absence of the run, it does allow for some interesting gameplay that they couldn't get away with otherwise. Like not Nova, the one that looks like Nova, Tracer, blinks. Like you couldn't do that with run. Yeah, it wouldn't work.
Literally, her sprint is shift. I mean, that's what they did in the game. They put your special ability on your shift button, so it's going to use it. So
And a lot of heroes some of them have no unique movement options. I mean, Reinhardt has a charge. Widowmaker has a grapple, and like Pharah has a jetpack. When you jump, you can hover and gain altitude, and shift just shoots you straight up into the air. You can combine the two and fly all over the place. And yeah, but like you guys were saying, no sprinting does lead to interesting mechanics that they can come up with.
Yeah,
because with sprinting, Tracer would be uncatchable.
So, Bern, you said that Reaper appeared to be your favorite?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Love the art style, love the ability set. Just overall, totally appealed from afar watching the videos.
Nice. I mean, even with the cinematic...
Do you have a second favorite?
What's that?
Do you have a second favorite?
Tracer?
Yeah, don't... Just say the T word. Just say T.
Popular ones.
Just say T.
Say Winston.
Say Winston. We'll just go with that one.
Winston was amazing.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
If you look on if you look on the poster behind Mike, there's 3 characters over on the left-hand side that were not included at BlizzCon. The one that he's actually pointing to now, the robot samurai, reminds me very much of Raiden from Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
It almost, I can't tell from here, but does he have a samurai sword in his hand?
He does. He has a long sword that's curved like a katana. Yeah.
So I honestly think he is going to end up being my favorite, but unfortunately he was not playable. There was no information on him. I don't even think we have his name.
Right. No, we have him. We have a really, really big guy in a gas mask, and we have a cowboy, like a gunslinger or something like that.
Yeah, the gunslinger guy looks rather interesting too, but I'm curious to see what those. He kind of looks like the guy from Borderlands, I guess.
Yeah, he's got the only thing I noticed is his belt buckle says BAMF, which we all know what that stands for.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of stuff for Overwatch. The game looks amazing. It feels amazing. Cage has been replaced with the poster.
So, Bern, do you think you're gonna make a trip down to BlizzCon next year?
I think I'm going to have to, my friends. It just sounded with all the tweets that it was just too much fun to miss. I got to be there.
Mm-hmm. You got it. Even if you're not a huge World of Warcraft fan, there is plenty.
Hey, I'm off on Thursday and Friday this week, brothers.
There you go.
Should come join me.
There you go.
I got the whole week off because of BlizzCon, and now I'm going back tomorrow, and they're going to work me to the bone. So
we actually had people that came down for BlizzCon that didn't have actual tickets. They came down, stuck around in people's hotel rooms, watched the virtual ticket, and then came and hung out with everybody at the parties and stuff afterwards. And they said it was totally worth it. Like they would do it again. They do it a Wild Thing from Game Breaker. Did that 2 years in a row now. Like he loved it. So
Yeah, there's plenty to do even if you don't have a ticket, and you want to make the trip. But
I knew about 8-10 different people that just showed up without tickets, just to hang out and go to the parties. It was nuts.
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. But
Great show, gentlemen. Love what you do. Figure out that bra and panties thing for me.
I will work on that, and I will have an answer for you next week. Thanks for calling, Mr. Bird.
That's going to be like our highlight
Later.
for next week.
Have a good
Later,
one.
sir.
Bye, Mike.
Well, he just transitioned us straight into Overwatch. Thank you, Mike
Yeah,
Bird.
might as well.
I forgot we were still on the call.
Yeah, we keep them on until we're done with the topic.
Well, yeah.
It would be rude otherwise.
Yeah.
So, big announcement. After 17 years, new IP from Blizzard.
Yeah, and yeah,
It's amazing! Oh my god!
The fact-
it is amazing.
the
I hope I
fact
have
that
it
this
keyed
game
up
has
properly. here.
only- The fact that this
Nope,
game
I
has
don't.
only been in production for
There it
18
is.
months is incredible.
Yeah, that's what was. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, what was it? Yeah, 18 months. I don't know what month they started in, but it's amazing for that short amount of time. Because how long did Hearthstone, take before they let us have our hands on it?
Hearthstone was in production for a while.
Yeah, like 3
Oh,
years
great.
plus. So
So,
Anyway.
But, so obviously Overwatch is their new first-person shooter. They're jumping right into this genre, as they've done with MOBAs and everything else that they've done in the past. The one thing that I do like what Blizzard's doing with this genre, though, is they're adding more backstory and lore to the heroes, unlike you see in Team Fortress 2 and other things like that. Yes, Team Fortress 2 has that small lore and that small backstory to all their characters, but I think Blizzard is going to do a better job at introducing and having that story for all of their heroes in Overwatch.
right, Blizzard is amazing at storytelling, and
I'm seeing
huh.
I'm just
I'm seeing in
amazed how
chat.
well they were able to keep the lid on this one.
Yeah, well, it's been a
Is it the
short
new
time.
Apple?
that doesn't really surprise me, to be honest, because like 3 years went by. I don't even know for sure if that's the number but we're spitballing here. at
A
this
large
point.
amount of time went
Hearthstone was
by.
in development for a long time, and we heard nothing of that. So
It's very true.
I'm not surprised that a game that was in development for 18 months remained this secretive this long. And Serene in chat is saying 18 months, they must have reskinned StarCraft Ghost. And when I was talking to the developers, I actually asked them if they got a chance to play StarCraft Ghost internally and if they drew any inspiration from that. And the 5 devs that I've talked to, granted 3 of them were on the cinematics team, but 2 of them were actual programmers for the game, said that they had never played StarCraft Ghost. They're not even sure if it's available internally.
Right. So we have someone in chat, Rodane. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Do you guys think Overwatch was Titan? Well, here's a little quick tidbits before we keep talking about
Yes and
this.
no. Yes and no.
But just let me get the quick tidbits out. Shh.
Your little tidbits.
First-person shooter by Blizzard. Yay. Overwatch went into production approximately last summer, in 2013. Work started after Titan fell apart. A small group of former Titan developers conceptualized Overwatch. They share a few similarities. It's set in the near future Earth, approximately 60 years from now. Earth after a crisis with robots attacking called the Omnix Crisis. And the Overwatch is a worldwide agency that displayed how great people could be when they came together representing heroism and sacrifice. And that's all the tidbits.
I mean, if you go back,
It's not the same game.
it's not Titan. Let's just in a nutshell, it's not Titan. But the initial concept of the backstory, I believe, is very much so Titan. Because if you went back and read like the synopsis for Titan when they had canceled everything, it's very much so in line with Overwatch.
Yeah. First-person
They ju-
shooter set in the near future on Earth.
Yeah, very robotics, stuff like that. But the whole MMO aspect, they just kind of threw out and they went their own way.
Yeah, some of the concepts went there. None of the assets
Yes.
carried over. It was just
yes.
They took the team that was working on it, took a few of the better ideas from it, and instead of going an MMO route, which was the plan for Titan, they went first-person shooter route and made a really
good
simplistic yet fun shooter.
It is so accessible. Just like I said, it's quick. You have a 2-minute pre-round setup time, and in that 2 minutes, you can learn everything you need to about your hero.
Well, I mean, and that's what Blizzard does. I mean, and you can complain about how much Overwatch is so similar to Team Fortress 2, but that's fine. Blizzard has always taken genres they love and, they can fall behind and make them super accessible to a lot more people than what, other games were before them. I mean, look at Heroes of the Storm. When they launched that, it is by far more accessible to the common or the casual player than League of Legends and, Dota.
Right, exactly.
And that's why it's going to be so successful.
Yeah, and they're keeping it simple. There's going to be 4 roles: offense, defense, tank, and support. 12 characters were playable. There's 15 in the art behind me. And to quote Chris Metzen, there are many more in development. So,
Yep.
And that's what I said before. Think of Heroes of the Storm as far as heroes go with a first-person shooter. There's going to be continuously adding new heroes with new abilities, along the lifespan of this game. So I think that's really what's going to push this game forward and make it hugely successful.
exactly.
So we're getting beta next year.
They said beta is way closer than you think.
So when do you guys think we're gonna get actual game?
I'm gonna say
Actual
March.
game.
Quarter one.
I'm
Quarter
gonna say
one.
March.
The actual
March
game fully
2016?
released. Yeah.
No,
We're talking full released game, no beta,
Oh, full
final
release.
product.
2016.
Definitely 2016, the way they were talking. I
Beta
can't
in
see
March.
it.
Beta in March. Beta in March. Release announced date at BlizzCon next year with a release in 2016.
That is so quick for a Blizzard game.
It is quick for a Blizzard game, but they said they want to keep it... I don't know, they seem to have the core idea nailed down. There's little...
But look how polished the
set.
game is when we
The
played
game is
it.
extremely
they have
polished.
Yeah.
they have
When we
to strike.
when we played
They
it
have
at
to strike.
BlizzCon, it was extremely polished. It was almost as polished as Heroes was or is, and Heroes is only in tech alpha, and we're
Yeah.
getting into a beta with Overwatch next
Yeah.
year. This is extremely polished.
I mean, Heroes looked great, it played great, it felt great, but it still had a hell of a lot of things wrong with it, thus the tech alpha.
The
But
thing that I like about this game so much is I'm coming from my shooter background is GoldenEye, which I always used to play on the Living Daylights or you only what was it? Living Daylights? Whatever it was when one shot would kill you, right? So
Yeah.
I've always played like GoldenEye played that way, then moved up to Call of Duty, and Call of Duty is the realistic shooters, whatever, and you don't have a lot of health. You're running around the map, you get shot like once, you're dead, and you're like, what the hell just happened? As
fine by me.
I sound like an old man now, but it's like get off my lawn kind of thing. But as I've grown older, I like to not play the game where you like have such a quick reflex and you're dead. Like I'd rather like take some time, strategize, run around the map, conduct like a plan, formulate what I want to do. And this game is just that. It gives you the time. Like, yeah, there's a sniper class and you can get one shot. So it's out there. It can happen, but it's not as prominent as it is in like these Call of Duty games.
right.
Yeah, and that's what the focus that Blizzard had come out and said that they're not trying to make this another military shooter. They're trying to separate themselves from that. And I think they're, so far, from what we've played, they're doing a really fantastic job on it. So
Amazing job.
Yeah, they said they're going to keep it very simple, no deathmatch, everything is team-based and objectively based and all that stuff like that. At a point, and I forgot it, but it's so amazing. It's making me forget what I'm trying to say.
the game's going to be amazing. That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. We're done. That's good. Great.
That's it.
There's so many classes that I want in there. I want a spy class.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not
I
Team
like
Fortress
the
2.
Team Fortress. No, I know, but I want. That's what I'm kind of hoping the Ninja ends up being.
There will probably be a couple of stealth classes.
I'm sure if I had to guess is that samurai ninja guy who reminds me a lot of the Borderlands 2 character.
Zero.
Zero.
It-
He's probably going to have invisibility.
If they do too much more, they're gonna get a call from Gaben. being like,
Oh, who
"Hey,
cares? All they got to do is hold up, alien colonial marines in his face and say, "Look, this game is trash," and then walk away.
Pretty much. But just for a couple more tidbits, in the
many
playable
tidbits.
build, I know, in the playable
More
build,
tidbits.
it's a new game. We have stuff. In the playable build at BlizzCon, there were 2 game modes, point capture and payload. The payload was only on one map, and it was the second half, so it combined the two. Fine, deets. I mean deets. Details.
Don't use that word.
God. There were 3 maps available, which were all great. They took place in, like, futuristic versions of real places. Heroes of Ultimates, as we mentioned. This is charged by taking and dealing damage. And, yeah, Blizzard wanted to create something accessible to everybody.
Well, I mean, and if you look at it, from a standpoint of like a mobile player, and I hate doing this because this is my only this is my personal comparison. Every hero in Overwatch has an ultimate ability, all of them, which to me, that's why I'm comparing it to Heroes. It's not necessarily a 3-lane, 2-lane map. It's a Team Fortress map at its heart. But the way the abilities work is very MOBA-ish. So that's why I think, agreeing with Zista again, this will be a free-to-play game where, in the business model of Heroes right now, where they'll sell skins and stuff like that.
I mean, it's been so extremely successful at this point. I don't see them not doing it.
Well, I mean, in the long run, they're going to make more money than they would to sell it as a standalone game.
Yeah.
So
that's true. I mean, and not only Heroes is following the free-to-play model. We also have Hearthstone, and they've been doing really well off that model as well.
Yeah,
20 million players. I mean,
Hearthstone was just that magical, like, hey, here's this card game we're doing, and then all of a sudden people were like, oh my god, it's amazing, and they just flooded.
I mean, and even Diablo to a degree, it's pay once, and then it's free-to-play from there on out. So
yeah.
All right, so we have another caller on the line. Actually, this is an active show with the community here. So caller, you know the drill. Tell us your name, tell us your question, and something profound.
Hello, this is Goofy Spartan here from Saudi Arabia.
Hi,
and
Goofy.
Welcome back from Blizzcon.
Don't bring up the feels, man.
And so my question is about Diablo 3, and it is, should the patch 2.1.2 be changed to 2.2 instead? Because since Blizzard are adding a new season and new legendary items called ancient legendaries, which are basically the same as the current legendaries that are dropping, but just stronger version, and new goblins and gems and stuff.
Well, I don't know.
It's a lot of content for such a small patch like that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Diablo 3 had like the smallest showing at BlizzCon, but there is still a lot going into the game.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
There's quite a bit going into it. Like we got all the new treasure goblins,
ancient items, improvements for greater rifts, 2 new legendary gems, and
the gems. Yeah, there's a map too, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a new maps tile set. It's we'll get right into our Diablo stuff while we're at it here. It's the Runes of Sescheron, and it's based on the barbarian city from Diablo 2. It's available to adventure mode only. There are bug-themed minions, and the Rat King is the boss.
I mean, I'm down for any new adventure mode content.
So am I.
Yeah, because
I mean,
anything to keep the game going longer is great.
Yeah, well, that was their big focus with Reaper of the Souls, was to add this adventure mode, and to see them actively supporting adventure mode by adding more content to it. I'm all for that, just to keep their game going.
Yeah. I mean, I've been hanging out in Seasons mode, and that kind of extends that as well. So
yeah, just a funny moment I had at BlizzCon. Someone mentioned Reaper of Souls on stage, and I heard someone in the crowd say, scream out, "It saved your effing game." Which is pretty much it did.
They made good choices, though. The game is so much better now.
Yeah. Everybody flooded back to it.
So I'm actually glad they're throwing all this content in, and the fact that we still have not heard word on the next expansion yet. I'm very relieved at that, because it goes to show me that all this new content that they're throwing out here, and they're getting ready, and like Goofy said, that this should be patch 2.2 or whatever, with all the crazy content. Like I can't wait to see what is actually announced for the expansion. Maybe we'll actually get PvP, but I don't know.
I think they'll announce that next year, next BlizzCon.
I want to say
next year's going to be so crowded if they do, because guaranteed we're getting the World of Warcraft.
But they have the time, though. I mean, honestly, they have the space. They have the entire convention center now.
Well, I want to say they're going to announce the next expansion for Diablo, at least mention it at PAX. I think that would be a better time to do it.
Yeah, there's plenty of things between here and, next BlizzCon where they can announce, PAX, there's Gamescom, there's all things like that. But yeah, Dom, I agree with you. This excites me for the next expansion because this is great, patch content here. And, it's great additions to the game. So the next expansion is probably going to be epic, more so than Reaper of Souls was.
Yeah.
One can hope.
And supposedly it's the final expansion for Diablo 3. There was only originally 2 planned.
Mm-hmm.
We're lucky to get another one because the last 2 games only had 1 expansion each.
Well, you can't really count Hellfire because that was not even made by Blizzard.
But I'm talking about, the Diablo 1 and 2 only had 2 actual expansions.
That's what I mean. Hellfire for Diablo 1 was not an official expansion pack. It was made by Sierra. It had nothing to do with Blizzard.
Yeah, but so they really want to keep the legs on this game going, which is nice.
Is Goofy still on the line?
Yes.
Okay, so Goofy, as far as your original question, I have no idea why Blizzard names their patches what they do. I mean, I can understand why patch 6.0 is 6.0 and WoW, it's the pre-expansion patch, but as far as all patches in between, it's
whatever they want to put into it.
It's really whatever they want to put in, yeah.
Don't necessarily think of a whole number as a major content patch. It's just whatever they feel that they can get into a certain patch at a certain time.
And that's pretty much that, yeah. But you did transition us easily into our Diablo 3 content, so thanks for that.
You're welcome, and have a great time with the show.
Yep. Thanks for calling.
Have a good night, Goofy.
Thank you.
Goofy sounds like he's falling asleep over there.
I love these call-in shows. They're great. Man.
It's like 4 or 5 a.m. over there.
It is.
So, as you may have heard mentioned, we'll get into some details here. There's new treasure goblins in Diablo 3. And there's 3 of them. They are the Blood Thief, which drops blood shards, the Odious Collector, who drops crafting materials, and the Gem Hoarder, who drops
gems.
Rocks.
I'm actually really excited. I'm excited about the Gem Hoarder.
Cookies.
I'm excited about the Gem Hoarder because gems don't drop for me
cool.
for crap.
Yeah.
So that's really nice.
Yeah. Also in there is some Greater Rift adjustments. There's new map tile sets for Acts 1 and 2, and you can reset your corpse in Greater Rifts with a growing timer. So I'm guessing there's going to be a timer to it, and the more times you have to use it, the longer you have to wait, or the longer it's going to take. Ancient items, they apply to all legendaries. They are better. They have better stats and can only be obtained in torment modes, and they're basically Warforged items from World of Warcraft. Is the same. They're the same gist. So that's good.
Awesome.
And
that's great.
Yeah.
And the new legendary gems are: one's a healing gem. It regens 50,000 life per second, and after not taking damage for 4 seconds, you gain an absorb shield for 200% of the total life spent. I don't know exactly what that wording means. And
that's crazy, though.
It is crazy. That's a lot of health per second. And then the other one is for defense. You gain a 30% non-physical damage reduction, and while below half health, your resistances are increased by 75%.
That's awesome.
Pretty good, Jim.
Yeah. And then we mentioned the runes, and Season 2 is going to go in.
I can't wait. I mean, and they're going to let us know.
I think the healing gem is better than the resistance one.
But both.
I don't know, man. I mean, when you're playing a class that's that keeps up heals pretty well, that resistance gem can come in handy. So
yeah,
because I play a Crusader right now in Seasons, and I'd rather have the resistance than the health.
Yeah, I could see what you mean. I mean,
so
hey, they're needed because they fill missing, roles that in the legendary gem lineup. But yeah, that's a lot of stuff that they're adding into this patch, and some of it sounds awesome, some of it sounds needed. But hell, I'll probably start playing Diablo 3 again.
You should. It's fun.
There's just so many games out right now. I just can't find the time to play them all. I really can't. Like,
I know. There's going to be 6 Blizzard games
coming
now.
out in 2 days, right? Draenor comes out in 2 days. Really want to play that. StarCraft 2, I gotta catch up on that. I'm so far behind. Heroes of the Storm, I haven't had time to play since the last reset. Hearthstone, I have to start playing, collecting my gold again because the goblins versus gnomes are coming out, and I gotta get the cards for those. Ooh. Then we got Overwatch coming out, and I'm really hoping to be able to get into the beta for that, so we have some stuff that we could actually be able to discuss on the show. And it's just like all these games are out, and I don't have the time to play them all. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I don't know, but you transitioned us perfectly again here. StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void was announced in the opening ceremony. Probably the most bone-chilling moment is hearing Zeratul say "My life for Ire" in that epic way.
The best part of that trailer. That
Oh
was
my
the
God.
entire best part of that trailer.
That was all they needed in that trailer. But I loved it. It was just great.
So shocking for like Battle Talk. This is like our first episode ever with actual StarCraft news.
Yeah.
There's nothing against StarCraft. It's just there hasn't been anything. So obviously this is like the last expansion to the trilogy. The one thing that they did different though for this one, and you know, before I transition over that way, this is the last expansion for StarCraft 2, and it's going to focus on the Protoss story through this whole conflict with the Zerg, and now we've got this greater threat of the Xel'Naga coming into play that Zeratul has already saw in the first two games. Sorry, is this stuff for spoilers? You'll learn about it playing.
Yeah, pretty much.
But as far as like what they've shown off into the trailer, this is very much so the Protoss story, as I said before. But you know, something that they're doing different with this expansion that they've done with previous expansions is this is a standalone game. This is no longer
That
you don't
blew
really
my mind.
Yeah, you don't need the first two StarCraft 2s to play this game. This is a standalone game. You can buy it outright just by itself and play the Protoss story, which is good. But I think it's going to kind of hurt the new player coming in. They're not going to understand the entire story by not playing Heart of the Swarm and the first one, which I can't remember off the top of my head. Wings of Liberty.
Wings of Liberty. There you go.
They're not going to get the entire story or know exactly what's going on with the story.
Yep. So we have a Twitter question related to StarCraft, and we're kind of already halfway through this question, but I have to mention it because Goblin Graphics always sends us questions. Do you actually have StarCraft news this week? Yes. Yes, we do. I always like getting his questions in because some of them are pretty damn good. But
I didn't get a chance to play anything at BlizzCon, unfortunately.
There was so much else, other things to do.
But they're going to add some cool things to the game. You know, obviously, you know, this is the next expansion, so obviously we have to have new units and new play types and stuff like that. So, surprise, surprise to all the, I believe, StarCraft 1 players, the Lurkers are now back in StarCraft 2.
Which everybody cheered
for when they announced it. Which I didn't.
Even I cheered, and I don't even know what that is.
I didn't play StarCraft 1, so I don't know exactly what a lurker is.
Lurker, what you did in StarCraft 1 is you had a Hydralisk, and you clicked an upgrade ability which caused it to go into an egg and come out as a lurker. Now, a lurker was pretty much useless. You couldn't do crap with it. But once you burrowed it underground, it would remain burrowed and shoot a lovely line of spines at anything that got in range. A group of lurkers burrowed would destroy anything on the ground.
I can see that as a great base defense.
Yeah, you would need, you know, something with stealth detection to detect the burrowed units, but they weren't the squishiest things in the Zerg army, but they were pretty easily killed. You know, air was obviously a good counter to them.
Well, I mean, like even if with a scan from the Terran or whatever, you'll be able to spot.
Yeah, scan anything that reveals stealth.
Yeah. So
I so don't have a dog in this entire fight.
See, I have the both StarCraft collector's editions. I just haven't play them yet.
It happens, man. The campaigns are great. Like typical.
As far as story-wise
Blizzard.
goes, yes, you should obviously play the campaigns because that's, for me, I don't much care about the multiplayer because that's where all the pros play, and you know my APM is extremely low and wouldn't.
I'm very much on that. I'm one of the very few people that like I enjoy the story mode in like the Call of Duty games more than the multiplayer, but I still love the multiplayer in them. But StarCraft, I probably am only going to stick with the story mode.
Well, sorry, Gage, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I've never been able to play an RTS and enjoy it. Like I played through Warcraft 1 to 3 and enjoyed it for the story, but I've never been able to actually. It's multitasking, man.
It's very you have to.
I
really
play a
have
warlock for a reason.
knowledge of your surrounding. Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Since Zista, you and I don't really play multiplayer a whole lot. I guess we can take part in their new Archon mode
Yeah, that's
coming in. Legacy of the Void. Yeah.
that's one of the new features.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Essentially, Archon mode is you take control of an army. So Zista, say you and I go into Archon mode, you and I will take control of one army. So literally, we can go play essentially 2-on-2, I would assume, or 2 versus AI, but really it's 1-on-1 because you're only controlling one army.
Right,
So
you share the
essentially,
same resources, the same bots and
yeah. So essentially,
Both
our
ways of
APM goes from 1 for me and you to 2. So now we got 2 actions per minute to go against the other team.
And
Right.
they said it's a pro player simulation. So now you can feel like, how the pros play.
You've got that 300 APM to
I'd like to
act
see an Archon mode where you could play 3 or 4 people against one pro player. That would be really cool.
Well,
At
if
that point-
that's the case, our APM just increased to 3. So
No, but here's the problem at that point. Then, you have 2 people trying to issue commands to the same thing at one point. And
well, that's why you got to have communication with your teammates.
Yes.
So obviously, Mumble, Skype, or some other VoIP program is probably going to be essential for Archon mode.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
It's going to be super interesting.
yeah, I'm definitely interested in taking control of one army with 2 people.
I definitely will be playing it. I'm gonna get the collectors. As you saw, I have the other 2. So
Yes.
I'm gonna even out my trifecta of collectors right there with that. But I promise you, and I don't break promises. I promise that I will catch up on the story mode of StarCraft before Legacy drops.
I just told you the story.
whatever.
I wasn't listening. I tuned it
Great.
out for
Oh, good.
spoiler
Cody,
reasons.
Good.
In that gigantic wall of an explanation, did you mention that it's a standalone trilogy? It's a standalone expansion.
Yes.
Yes, you're not paying attention to my long spiel.
I was paying attention. There was just so much.
See, I
info in
heard
there,
him
I
say
was
that
like,
even though I tuned out the story, I
Yes,
still caught
sto-
that.
See,
Here
I
we go.
tuned that out and I
StarCraft
listened to
2
the story.
Legacy of the Void will be a standalone game, unlike every other expansion for every other Blizzard title. You can play it without buying Wings of Liberty or Heart of the Swarm, but you will be lost beyond belief in the story. So I would recommend you go buy Wings of Liberty, and here are Heart of the Swarm.
Heroes of the Storm.
Heroes of the Storm. Go buy Heroes of the Storm,
which is free,
which is free, by the way,
but go buy it.
to get the story for StarCraft 2. No.
If anyone wants me to really get interested in StarCraft 2, my battle.net is it's Cage of Hell number 1824.
If anybody ever wants to play Heroes of the Storm, my Battle.net is Thilladrin, number 1287.
Here we go.
If anybody ever wants to play any Blizzard game with me,
Basically
my battle
that.
net is full. So
I was waiting for you to
wait.
say that. Just,
you're gonna have to wait until they
my
announce.
Battle.net is full. Good luck trying to get a hold of
increase.
me.
Yeah,
Because, yeah, it's
I'm not
capped
giving
at
out my
100.
Battle.net.
I am capped at 100. And
I can
don't
afford
have
to give it
win,
out. I have 40
unfortunately.
spaces left on my friends list.
If
I
you
just-
want my
I just pruned
Battle.net,
that
just
down
look
from
up those
70.
two and look at their friends.
Yeah. Well, that. And Heroes of the
so-
Storm, built off the StarCraft 2 engine. We have a Twitter question related to that right now, so I'm just going to scoot over to that. Legacy of Void is going to be awesome. That's all you need to know now. Overwatch is going to be awesome. End of topic.
So, after this Twitter question.
Far from the end of topic. We just
I
don't
know.
have enough time to talk about
I
it.
know.
in one
I
show.
wish we did. Also from Goblin
I can-
Graphics. Huh.
I was just gonna say I could probably do an entire 3-hour podcast just on Overwatch alone.
I think we all could, yeah. But anyway, here's the question. You've probably read it already. With the tease of a Heaven/Hell Diablo 3 themed Heroes of the Storm map, which was teased at BlizzCon, it was pretty awesome looking. What map from existing Blizzard game do you want next in Heroes?
Oh, I know.
Oh, that's a good question. Go, Cage. You know.
I know right now. I want a map from the Grand.
Yes.
That would be kind of
A
cool.
map from the Grand would be amazing.
Nagrand. Yeah.
I want to play off their Heaven and Hell theme map, and I would like to do a, city Zerg kind of map, StarCraft thing. But unfortunately, I think if they cover one side of the map with creep, Zagara will be a little OP. So I don't know exactly how they would balance that out at all.
Different creep.
Yeah.
Also,
Ice
for
Crown
me,
would be
Ice Crown would be good too.
I want the map from Wings of Liberty where you know, the lava map where the lava rises and makes half the map impassable. That I want in Heroes, and someone had, I swear a dev teased that like a year ago as an idea. Or someone asked that question. I want that map. That would be an amazing Heroes map. And, you know, it's not
I'll make it for you,
impassable.
Phil.
Yeah, you can make it for me. It's not impassable. It's just the lava does a crap ton of damage over time, and you don't want to be in it.
Yeah.
Unless you absolutely have to. And make sure the objective is in that area.
There are so many areas in the Blizzard universe that they could put into a map for
There's now
Heroes.
6.
It would work.
They now have... No, well, actually, I'm sorry. They now have 5 other IPs to pull from.
So, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I would like to see something from the Lost Vikings, to be completely honest.
Rock and roll
Ooh.
racing. A nice
I'm gonna-
racetrack.
So, like an 8-bit map? Do like an 8-bit themed map. Wouldn't that be
But
weird?
like outside of a theme, I think something that would be really cool and unique for a Heroes map would be to have a multi-leveled map, not like the mines where you go down and drop in the mines, but the map actually has pit holes in it that you could fall in and drop down to like a level below it, and there's only like one specific way to get back up, and it mainly acts as an inconvenience than a gameplay mechanic, because if you get knocked into the hole or just you're dumb and walk down it, then bad things happen.
And you gotta crawl your way back up. I just read...
Yeah, or have some kind of like fan mechanic, like this giant fan just like starts blowing you toward the hole or something at some point. I don't know. There could be some cool stuff like that.
Yeah, I just read my Burns' message in chat. He wants a Moonguard Goldshire map.
Why wouldn't you?
I know, right?
Okay, so
I-
are we gonna have players surrounding the map? You know, RPing and stuff like that.
I guess that's the whole deal.
Is that what the?
I
Is
don't
that
know.
what
It
the
feels
merc
like
camps
all the
and mech
maps that are
camps?
currently. It feels like all the maps that are currently in Heroes are all Warcraft themed. So when people instantly start saying what maps do you want to see, I tend to steer away from Warcraft stuff. It's just the art stylization seems very Warcraft to me.
Yeah, it does seem like a Warcraft-esque art style, whether or not the maps are actually Warcraft themed.
Right.
I would love to see some StarCraft maps. You know, Diablo 3 map was teased.
I mean, just even like your towers when you start in, they just seem like they were ripped right out of Warcraft. I want to see some like
but
Diablo, like angelic, or demonic type buildings, and
Well, I'm sure they
have,
have a bunch of that in their pocket right now. We're still in alpha.
yeah,
right, and they do. If you played the build they had at BlizzCon, you got to play one of the new maps, which was on a new, art style tile set. This is Sky Temple was the playable map. Here is the concept art for Sky Temple. The map actually looks different. It's 3 lanes in the live version, right? Well,
Is it 3 lanes? I thought it was
no, it's 3 in the playable version.
2.
But
Yeah,
Sky
that-
Temple, you could see it's a completely different art style. It kind of reminds you of Uldum, Egyptian-y style, or wherever else.
Well, and that's what I got. Like, obviously, I think I was playing with you and Omi, Phil, when we were playing it, and the map felt really balanced already with what it was, but I never got a real sense of like a laning phase. There wasn't really a laning phase for us. I mean, we were there for a little bit, and then there's a lot going on in that map that if you're not paying attention, you're gonna get caught. Because the jungles aren't necessarily defined like the other maps that we've played on before.
Right.
The jungle is really, really open, much more open than Garden of Terror is. And,
Yeah, like Garden of
well,
Terror and Dragonshire, they have
They're
jungle
defined
areas.
jungles.
Yeah,
They're pretty
they're defined
defined
areas with little like paths and mazy things to get lost in. Same with Cursed Hollow.
Sky Temple felt really open. Like
The
it was just
objective
kind of weird.
is also open. And okay,
Yes.
here's some info for everybody who might not have seen it. Sky Temple, 3-lane map. The main map objective is unique, just like all of other Heroes maps. And there are these 3 big statues, top, middle, and bottom. When they go, they can activate 1, 2, or 3 can activate at any time, random intervals, and you have to go stand in the area to capture it. It's just a standard, capture and hold. When you do, it activates for your team, and an obelisk starts shooting a laser at the enemy's base. And while this is happening, guardians come to life in the circle and try to knock you out of it and kill you. There's 5 of them total. They come in waves. And if you hold the tower for its full duration, because it has ammo, it'll charge up 5 super shots that do a lot more damage and rapid fire at the end, and that's that. And there's 3 of these.
I believe late game, all 3 of them spawn. So the later you get,
Yes.
it doesn't matter. And I know, like, early to mid game, it's either 1, 2, or 3. But late game, it is indeed 3. All 3 will unlock, and you have a choice to which one you go. And while you and I were playing, I mean, you were playing, one of the new heroes, and we'll talk about him a little bit later here. Well, Lost Vikings. You literally went up and captured the one with one. And I was down at bottom capturing the other one, and the enemy team really had nowhere to go. I mean, it's a nice design for this map, and I like the way they're going with it. It's a new objective other than golems, because that's all we've really seen with like most of the maps. Like 2 out of the 5 maps I think are out now are golem based.
Yeah.
Guard of Terror is golem based. Haunted Mind is golem based.
They all have a golem on it.
This one is something different. It feels nice.
I just want to answer a quick question from chat from Magnus Barelegs. Is there a meta for heroes yet? The meta, like a defined meta, would vary from map to map, but the general thing that works is 2 supports, a tank, and then either 2 assassins or an assassin and a specialist. But 2 supports and a tank, and then fill in the rest seems to be what works right now. Especially if you take a support that can do damage, like that's
not to go against that. I mean, they're trying to make it super accessible, and the meta isn't really all important. I mean, it's important, but it's not much. It's not hugely important like in League of Legends or Dota. I mean,
it will be though.
It will be,
especially
when
with the recent announcement of ranked play. Yeah.
Yes, that's when it will come into play.
So, I had glow sticks left over, and I thought it'd be fun to crack one on the show, and I now have glow stick liquid all over my hands.
Good job.
My hands are glowing blue.
During their
overview
on Saturday, I went and saw that panel at BlizzCon, and they were going over the new heroes and the new maps. They announced another new map, which we didn't get to play at BlizzCon. It wasn't playable.
In a playable form.
And they showed concept art for it, but they didn't really show.
I got the concept art right here. This is Temple of the Spider Queen.
Yeah, they didn't show. They showed a short video, but they didn't really show an objective that we're all focused on, because that's all of our maps are objective based. And they didn't really show that in the videos, and they really didn't go over it. They just really showed us this concept art that you're seeing now, and that we'll see it a little bit later.
That middle lane there looks extremely important.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
It's using the same tile set as Sky Temple, and the view we got showed them attacking
some spider queen. It looked like one of the arachnid guys we see in Anubricon, or not Anubricon.
Thanks, honey.
Also in our.
It's a really long bottom lane, though.
But again, this is all concept art right now. Like, if you look at Sky Temple, if you played the map, you'll notice that this concept art looks entirely different than the actual final layout.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, if you look at it, like, the thing that I got from this panel that I went and watched, the 2 new maps are very Egyptian themed.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I'm kind of curious if that's the way they're going to go with these map releases, if they're going to pick one theme, make a few maps, based on that theme, and then change their theme, since we're already used to an Egyptian theme. After this, are we going to get a new theme, or are we going to get the Diablo theme maps coming out? And then after that's done, are we going to get like the StarCraft theme maps?
I don't know.
Keeping the themology, if that's even a word, but keeping that together and consistent, they could probably A, pump them out faster, and B, they're more recognizable and easier to play for new players. Whereas if they were to create 3 separate tile sets, like the Egyptian theme, the Diablo theme, and Lost Vikings, I'm just spitballing, and then release one map.
No one's ever going to...
And then second wave is one map from each, and then third wave is one map from each. It would be so confusing that way to a new player, to me, especially somebody who's not familiar with the MOBA genre. Whereas if they just did that... Yeah, exactly.
I gotcha. And while we're on Battlegrounds, I'll just show you the concept art for the Heaven vs. Hell Diablo 3 map.
Which looks amazing.
This is a great concept,
Now, one of the questions that came up for this map at the panel that I watched was, obviously you've got a Heaven side and a Hell side, where you've got knights. We've also got knights and mercs on this map as well. are those knights and mercs going to be themed as Hellspawn and Angels, or are they going to be the ogres that we've seen before? And what happens when someone that's on the Angel side attacks the mobs on the Hell side? How is that going to work as far as, are they going to turn into Angels and attack the enemy team, or are they going to stay Hellspawn and attack their own team? It's something that they gotta work out. I mean, obviously it's the
I think they could do whatever team
stage.
Whatever team is on what side captures it. I think they could easily skin that and have some kind of neutral entity in the mercenary camp to begin with.
Yeah, that works. I mean,
skin, as far as skin goes, I mean, the knights work out fine. I mean, the knights are their own.
Even put humans in the mercenary camps for the time being until you take it over, and then they switch to demonic or angelic.
Yeah, that could work. I mean, we saw new skins for mercenary camps on Sky Temple. The knights are more like genie based.
Yeah,
the three warriors are like these big fat,
obviously Egyptian
guys with scimitars, and the sorcerer looks like a genie.
So
I mean,
but I guess next to new maps, since we got 3 coming that we know for sure of, I guess is the next new heroes that are coming that we finally got to play.
There were 3 playable in the build, and a 4th one went into full detail on. And here is, hold on, here we go. I know this back to the Overwatch poster. I apologize, but I have so few things here. Here we go. Heroes, the Lost Vikings, Sylvanas, Thrall, and Jaina. Sylvanas was the only one not playable, but we got pretty much all she had.
We've got all of her info. We got all of her information in the panels.
The one that I was the most interested in trying was not playable.
Yeah.
It's same here. Sylvanas, I am so excited for.
Well,
what are they billing her as?
She's going to be a specialist, and obviously there's different metas for heroes. You got specialist, support, attack, and tank, and we've already got 2 archers in Heroes of the Storm, and Vala and Tyrande. Tyrande is your support, and Vala is your damage. So they went the specialist route with Sylvanas. Now her trait, they were trying to figure out exactly how they wanted her trait to work, and they came up with Dark Arrow. And this trait, pretty much, whenever she shoots a minion, a mercenary, or any enemy creep or anything, a building, anything like that, it stuns it for a little bit, or for a short period of time to get more damage into it. So it adds a little bit of strategy to her.
So she's still like a ranged hunter. She's still like a ranged.
Very much the same style, bow, Dark Ranger. That's.
I just want him to come out with Gul'dan, man. That's all I want.
Gul'dan would be good too.
It's an evil warlock.
She's got an ability to mind control as well, which is kind of interesting. So, say the enemy team captures a knight camp or a merc camp. If you got Sylvanas on your team, you can turn a merc against a merc.
Yeah,
or a creep against a merc and just help you out. So that just adds another layer of strategy to your gameplay while playing as Sylvanas. It's very interesting.
It fits her backstory, her lore, because Sylvanas is a banshee still, technically.
Yes.
But anyway, you mentioned unique playstyle, and let's get into Lost Vikings.
Oh my god!
You want to talk? It is
so funny.
They are the first insane difficulty hero in Heroes of the Storm.
Because you have to control all 3.
Right. When you start the game, I played them one game, and they are a challenge. People who played Meepo in Dota, you will be at home with this. You have 3 Vikings that are all independent, and you have hotkeys to select each one. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 selects all of them. And they are separate entities. Each one dying counts as a death against your score. And they're all very different. One is fast and has a weak ranged attack. Another is normal speed and has a moderately strong splashing range attack, and the other one is big, fat, slow, has a lot of health, and he charges when he gets in range of a target. And your talents either buff a single Viking, or they give an ability to your actual ability bar for you to use, like Jump, which makes them all, or one, jump and become invulnerable for 2 seconds. It's phase shift for Tassadar. Or another, Spin to Win. This one was my favorite, because it makes them Whirlwind. So you surround an enemy with all 3 of them, and then hit Whirlwind, and you chunk half their health gone.
I mean, even when you and I were playing, and we'll get into the character I played here in a bit, just watching you play, we were playing on Sky Temple, and like I said before, you literally sent 1 up to take care of 1 obelisk, while you sent 2 down to come help me. It just adds that much more like I hate to say it, keep repeating myself, but strategy. You know, it's all about
Yeah.
strategy. It's all
Alone though.
That is
Yeah.
actually crazy because I figured you could control all three, but I still assumed that they had to be in the group. I did not get a chance to try Heroes as I stated
can
earlier,
go-
but
no, literally
I just
like
assumed that the three of them were with you in a group and you can control them and have them do individual tasks, but they had a range. But the fact that none of these guys have a range, that's incredible.
They're
you can literally send them wherever. So like one of the examples, and they showed a video in the panel on Saturday on Dragon Shrine. They literally sent one Viking up top to capture the top point. Sorry, I'm pointing at my camera. One to capture the bottom point, and as soon as those two captured it, the third one went and got the Dragon Shrine.
But now you have
So
the
literally you
Dragon
can do
Knight
that.
and 2 Vikings with you.
And yes, now you have to control the Dragon Knight, and you have to control the 2 Vikings that didn't take the Dragon Knight. You have to control all 3 of those now. So it just adds more difficulty to this character. But if you can master this guy, he is extremely fun to play. And I did talk to the technical designer that was at the signing booth. Abathur only copies one Viking.
One
Like,
Viking.
He does not copy all 3. It's just it's just one of them. Because if he
That's
copies
good to
all
know.
3, that'd be kind of really OP.
Yeah. Now the
It
thing.
would. Then you'd always have a Viking
Six.
and an Abathur on your team just to make sure that you end up with what is that, 5 extra
6
players?
people.
Yeah. Now here's the thing with the Vikings. They're alone. Each Viking is only really half of a hero, in reality, and
Yeah.
pretty much with the exception of Abathur. You know, Abathur's physical self. Every other hero can kill them and 1v1 them.
Yes.
So
They're not OP. They're not necessarily OP by themselves. I mean, they can still do a 1v1 fight. It's just not ideal. You want to have all 3.
played well. They're fantastic. Even with all 3 of them there, one of them might even die. But
You can still pick off.
you can
pick
buff
off
them
the
with
guys.
stuns. You can buff the small one with a talent that makes him stealth when he stands still for a while. There's all kinds of fun stuff.
So what you're saying, if you're a really good RTS player, this is your class.
Yes, if you're
This
a
is your
great
guy.
multitasker, this is your guy.
We have a question in chat. Murky can
Murky
1v1?
can't 1v1. Yes, he
I've-
can.
I've
This is
1v2'd
by the
people with
sophist,
Murky.
The real sophist.
Hi, Sophist. I've 1v2'd people with Murky. You can... You build
Assassin
Assassin
build.
Murky, you can walk in, kill them, and still walk out with Murky and his tiny little health bar.
Yep.
Well, no, you don't walk out. You float out. In
Yeah,
that
you
little
float
bubble.
out in a bubble. You float out in a bubble while they die from all of the damage over time from your slime, your little Murloc army, and your Envenom.
So
Yeah.
the hero that I got the chance to play was probably going to be my new guy when I play this game, and that's Thrall.
I
And
played
I
him
just have
too.
to
He's
say,
amazing.
Thrall is amazing.
He's broken overpowered right now and is going to get the nerf bat, but he's amazing.
But
I'm
okay,
gonna-
so even then, I still think he's very unique to play. So when you and I were playing Phil, we obviously thought that he was going to be an elemental shaman. I thought, right? Is that what we thought he was going to be?
Yeah,
He's
but
not.
he's a shaman.
He's a
period.
shaman. Period. Like he's a melee caster.
And his
Which
passive
sounds
heals
kinda-
him.
Yes, his passive heals him, which is kind of interesting because when you and I were playing, we were taking control of an obelisk. I'm like, "Are you healing me?" Because I was getting like really low, and my passive just kept healing me. I'm like, "This is weird. I'm getting healed."
And
But
let's-
like, his abilities are Wind Fury, which does what it does in World of Warcraft. He gets to hit twice.
and it doubles Wind Fury. It doubles his attack speed for the next 3 attacks.
That's right. He's got Feral Wolf, which shoots a wolf straight out from him, just one.
Damages everything in between, in its path, and the first hero it hits, it damages in roots.
Yes, and then he's got Chain Lightning, which it does like it does in
It's exactly
World of Warcraft. It's the same
primary
thing,
damage and secondary.
which is really interesting.
The major
So
thing
go
I was
ahead.
gonna say the major thing I'm shocked about with Thrall is that we didn't get the announcement of tying him to Warlords of Draenor pre-orders.
It was really interesting to go off that. The skin that they chose for Thrall, it's very Warcraft 3.
His main skin.
Yeah, his main skin's Warcraft 3. So I mean, that's probably why they didn't tie it with Warlords, because it's very old school. I mean, if they were to come out and say this is the skin and it was like the end of Pandaria skin or something like that, then I could have seen them putting it in with the Warlords release. But it's shocking nonetheless. I do agree with you there, but I kind of understand.
Right, and his
The
ultimate...
other thing that shocked me so much with Thrall was the fact that they decided him to be a very versatile, well-ranged shaman when they announced Jaina, and they're just like, nope, she's a frost mage. And I'm
Yeah, especially...
Yeah, well,
If
and
you
that's
go into
just it.
Jaina's story, especially in the books, her signature spell as a mage is
Arcane.
Pyroblast.
Oh, that's right.
Because, she had trouble learning it, so she practiced the ever-living crap out of it, and now she's like the master of that spell.
right.
Well, I mean, going back to the versatility of Thrall, when you and I were playing, though, it was amazing. I'd go in and start, meleeing things. They'd get really low. They try and run away. I still had chain lightning. I would use my chain lightning. Now I'm a caster, and I just got that kill, and he's out of my melee range.
Or
that
you
was
could, in my
so
case,
good for
you
versatility.
took Earthquake, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
take
his
it.
two ults are Earthquake, does damage in a circle and does a massive slow, and it pulses a couple times extra to do extra slow, and what is it called? Cataclysm, I think, or something like that. He shoots out a rift, just a line of rocks that damage and knock everything aside. And when you upgrade that at level 20, it goes the whole map, which is amazing.
So
But
I mean, he's very
insane.
versatile nonetheless. I mean, he's a melee at heart, but when someone tries to get away, you've got that chain lightning ability to get the kill.
Right. But we could talk about Thrall all night. Let's move on to Jaina. Like you said, Frost Mage.
Which is very interesting. And even the art style they chose for. I know we're with her art style right now in World of Warcraft. She's older. She's got the gray hair with the blonde streak. She's like much like Thrall. She's very Warcraft 3 art style. She's still young, but she's a frost mage. So she's got Cone of Cold, which is kind of weird how they chose that spell. I wouldn't
Cone
never
of
use that
Cold,
spell.
Ring of Frost, Blizzard, Ice Lance, and Water Elemental.
Yeah.
And her
So, I mean,
passive
all
marks everything. The Ice Lance effect in World of Warcraft, if something's frozen, it has an increased chance to crit. This is any of your spells applies a debuff, and if you hit with another spell, it bursts the debuff, doing extra damage.
So I mean, I don't.
And Jaina is a Dreadlord.
Yes, Jaina is a Dreadlord. I don't think we really need to go too much into Jaina at all, just for the fact that all of her spells
Last
are
I
very
checked, Jesse
Warcraft.
Cox wasn't on this show.
Jaina's a Dreadlord. I don't care.
Speaking of Jesse Cox, congratulations to Jesse Cox and what was their name? What was their
Team
name?
Low Expectations.
Team Low Expectations on winning the Blizzard Brawl at Blizzcon. That was an amazing match.
Complete shutout. 2-0 win.
Yeah, 2-0 win over high school or video game high school.
Team
or something
Rocket
like
Jump.
Okay.
Yeah, and-
So even
and
in that,
Cloud9 too, right?
Cloud9 won the very first exhibition tournament against Evil Geniuses and beat Idra, thank God. But, going back to the Blizzard Brawl, Team Rocket Jump was very, they were so cool about it. They're all having fun.
Yeah, that whole match was fun.
When
I
they
loved it.
lost, they would, stand up and cheer like they won and stuff like that. It was just an amazing. And, the esports scene for Heroes is very much alive. As I was watching the tournament go on between Cloud9 and Evil Geniuses and stuff like that, and just the casting and everything like that. Yes, it's technical alpha. Yes, they still have some work to do, but it's there. It is so close to being ready for prime time.
Right.
Trickster did an awesome job. Trickster and Kevin did an awesome job casting it.
Casting, yeah.
So.
But you know what?
My hopes are alive for this to be a great esports game. So
yeah, we're talking all about this detail. Let's get a couple of facts out here. Some rapid fire tidbits, as I like calling it. There's some new Diablo heroes incoming that were teased: the Crusader, the Butcher, and King Lyric. The Skeleton
about
King.
Finally, Butcher.
Yeah,
we
right.
already
Finally.
knew about the Butcher. I think he's going to be a little bit longer. I don't want to spend too much time on it because we don't know about anything about him yet. But they did spend a little bit of time on him at the Saturday panel, saying that they're taking their time to differentiate the Butcher and Stitches because they want them to be two totally different heroes.
Yeah.
They want them to be
That
unique.
was my
and feel
major
unique.
concern. Is I figured that they were going to be too similar.
Yeah.
Yes. So they are taking their time. They are trying to make the Butcher unique. So anybody who's
good.
got that worry, don't worry about it. They understand. They're working on it.
So here's some
I
info
think,
from
I think that was Cage's biggest worry right there, right?
What was the worry?
Butcher being like Stitches.
The-
Just say yes.
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 Cage
I was
is
so
not the
worried.
biggest Heroes of the Storm.
And I'm
fan.
so sorry, Cage.
I
'cause
am.
The two
I
of us
am.
are nuts about the game.
I am nuts about it. I've only got a chance to play it for like a week now. So
you've added me to BattleNet, so you can come play with me and Phil. So
Yes.
I'm looking for a good team to play with because those queues are forever if you're solo queuing.
Yeah, it happens. Sometimes they're quick, sometimes they're not. It all depends on your role, time of day, a whole list of other factors. But here's a couple quick more new info.
This is the hallelujah moment for Heroes of the Storm.
New punishment for leavers.
Yay!
Your account will be
so punished.
I know. If you leave a game, your account will be flagged, and to quote what they were saying up there, because we think you like that style of gameplay. So we're going to flag your account, and you will only get matched with other leavers.
So this is very much like, Titanfall with their, anti-cheat system, where it'll recognize your aimbot program and stick you with other people that have that aimbot.
Yep.
So, if you're the kind of player that leaves games all the time in Heroes of the Storm, they're going to stick you with other leavers, and the only way to stop being placed with other leavers is to complete games. So you literally have to go through, whether you're going to win or lose, it doesn't matter. And to lose or to leave, even when you lose, is kind of stupid to the end because you could always come back at like the very last second. But you need to start completing games, and that's the only way that you're going to get unflagged to be placed back into the normal queue.
Speaking of that, today I was actually playing a game with a friend of mine, and I went in, and then I tried to change my video settings. I got kicked out because it crashed. I went back in, and there was a 16-minute discrepancy between me and the server.
Yes,
so I'm sitting there waiting forever to try to get back in the game.
They came back. I can't remember, Phil. They came back a while ago and mentioned that they are working on trying to get your reconnect time a lot better, because they obviously know that you disconnect for some odd reasons. You come in and it needs to essentially catch up to. You need to catch up to where the server's at.
Yeah, the game needs a reconnect feature, definitely. And the way the reconnect feature works right now is that if you get disconnected, game crashes, whatever the hell happened, you get back in, you reconnect, and it's like, please wait while the server catches you up. Well, this happened to me 18 minutes into the game, and I sat there for 10 minutes, and after it finally reconnected me, I had 5 seconds, and then the game ended. In our favor, but it still ended. And I didn't like it. So, it needs to be worked on. They said it's going to be worked on and made better.
Yeah, I'm sure by the time beta, it'll be fixed before beta comes out, because if beta comes out and that issue arises, that's not very good. So I'm sure that, before even beta kicks off, we'll have that fix.
Yeah, also for the leaver punishment thing, they said you can get out of that by playing games and not leaving.
Yeah.
After a while, they'll flag, and they said there's going to be, a buffer period. Like if you've played 50 games and never left, and all of a sudden you leave a game, they're not just going to flag you immediately. They're going to give you the benefit of the doubt there. Also mentioned, ranked players going in. There's going to be what's called Hero League. You're going to have to be level 30 on your account. And it is solo queue or like 2 or 3 people you join with.
It's not necessarily team play. It's, it's meant to separate the team play, people that have a pre-made team and people that don't really have that full pre-made team. Yeah. So, which is really nice because it's something different than other MMOs that, to my knowledge, have not done. That too. To my knowledge, have not done. I know League doesn't do it.
League does solo duo queue.
Yeah.
So you group up with 1 or 2, and you get matched up with other groups of 1 and 2.
So it's nice to see them doing this. With their team ranked or the team league, though, it's very interesting. Yes, this is for your pre-made teams, but you can have 3 teams full of 9 people or blah, blah,
9 people. Yeah, you can be a member of up to 3 teams. Each team can have 9 members on them, and you have to be
9 peepers.
You have to be ranked.
To be 40.
You have to be 40 to join a team.
So speaking about the level requirement for that, are they planning on doing another wipe?
No.
Like an account wipe before beta comes out?
They said no.
No more wipes since this past wipe.
So what we have is what we will always have at this point.
Supposedly.
I can see
there's
the
no
only
more
time
account wipes as in gold or anything like that, but they have not clarified as account wipes toward levels or anything like that
I can
yet.
see them doing one more like level wipe right before game release.
That would suck.
That's the only thing that I can see. But I mean, obviously they want to test out ranked play and stuff like that, so they're not going to wipe it in closed beta and stuff like that. But before the game releases, I can see them doing one more.
Yep.
I like how they're doing the 3 different teams with more people or 9 players in it, just for the fact that, you know, Phil, you're not on one night, Cage, you're not on one night, but I'm part of another team and I have all those, and I have enough for a team on there on my second team. You know, I can go play ranked with them.
Right.
And I'm not hampered by you guys not playing.
And they're doing the teams, they're ranking them much like in Hearthstone. The lower your number, the better.
Yeah.
And the draft mode.
They're going back to the ranked. I'm sorry. They're pulling aspects from Hearthstone, Warcraft, and Starcraft, like the best things that they've got out of those ranking systems.
They're putting
them into
this
Heroes.
one. Right. Yep.
So obviously, you know, with Hero or the Hearthstone ranked, you know, the lower your number, the better you are. But then they're adding in like the point system in
MMR.
Warcraft, the MMR.
Your matchmaking rating. So you're going to get matched always with similar skilled people, regardless of.
But if you're like, say you're like a lower team than the people you're playing, you're going to gain more points like in Warcraft. If you're if you're a higher team playing a lower team and you beat them, you're not going to get as many points. So that's also very nice that they're doing that because that works.
So we got to move on here a bit. There's something we got to talk about in draft mode. No bans.
Yet.
You know,
they have talked about that, and the reason why they're doing that is because they don't have enough heroes in the system yet to justify a draft or a ban mode for heroes. Right. I did send out a tweet to the members of the team asking about the map bans, and they said that is something that's in their head that they want to do, but like the heroes, there's just not enough maps yet to justify a map ban.
But they discussed anything regarding rewards versus ranked play?
Nothing mentioned.
Nothing like Hearthstone does with like their card backs and stuff like that. So it may be coming. Obviously, this is really early in the stage of, you know, their ranked gameplay or game mode. So we could see something at the end of seasons and stuff like that, much like League does.
Anyway, got to move on here because we're spending too much time and we still got a whole nother thing to cover.
But I love heroes.
I know, but we have to do it. Hearthstone. New expansion was announced called Goblins versus... Actually, I'm sorry. Before we move on, we have actually a Twitter question related to Heroes of the Storm. I'm so sorry. Draven Dresden tweets, do you think they'll create a Demon Lord, and he tweeted after he meant Dreadlord, skin for Jaina?
Yes.
If they don't, they're really stupid.
They'll do it. And
That's it. No. So, if they don't, they're really stupid. That's that. On to Hearthstone.
Well, okay. Real quick though, yes, they are stupid if they don't do it. I see them doing a normal Ranger skin for Sylvanas, and I see them doing a, Cataclysm type skin for Thrall. So there's my skin predictions.
There you go. Anyway, Hearthstone. New expansion announced named Goblins vs. Gnomes. It will be available in December.
I can't wait.
It looks fun. I can't wait for the new table and everything to come out. I mean, it's gonna be fun.
The new table is amazing, except the thing I was disappointed on the floor build on the BlizzCon. None of the corners, the graphics were interactive. Like,
no, not yet. I saw that too. I was clicking on all of them. I'm like, no, I want to see what they do.
They're all interactive though, so I'm sure they're going to add that in.
Oh, they will be. They said that it just wasn't ready for BlizzCon, so I was just disappointed.
Hey, it's something for you to look forward to, though.
Yeah,
that's true.
Something to look forward to before your Christmas, so you're good to go.
I mean, there's a lot to look forward to. There's over 120 cards that are going to be announced in this thing. Yeah, and we barely even scratched the surface on cards.
No, they said at least 100.
Yeah, I was going to say, originally we were just told at least 100 cards, and they came out and said, here's 120. So we're like, okay, we got 20 more cards than normal.
They said around 120, so it may be more, maybe less.
Yeah, but
that's a good bit.
So let me get the news out of the way, and then we can talk all about this, because there's just a lot announced, but, just a little bit to go over. Available in December. There is going to be the Android tablet version launching alongside the expansion. Finally.
Thank you.
The whole expansion is mechanical themed. Goblins and Gnomes. Come on, of course. There's a new game board we already talked about. And spectate your friend mode. Bless you.
Sorry.
My favorite part, because I like watching this game, it's going to be... Yeah, you unfocused yourself with that sneeze. You could just jump in and spectate any of your friends that are currently playing.
Which is
That looks
cool because
amazing.
it's about time we're getting spectator mode.
It's really fun. Oh, and
Yep.
last news bit, and then we'll talk about it. Card back for next thing. Oh, look, Goblins versus Gnomes. How nice is that? Here's the November card back. It is Goblin themed.
Which we already
You know
Make
the
sure you
deal.
Get it before the before
Rank
the end of the
20
month.
before the end of the month. Go. Do it now. Done. Bye-bye
Yep,
card
we're
back.
about
We
halfway
love
through
you.
the month. I'm gonna be very surprised. They would not confirm. I asked them. They would not confirm if there was going to be a gnome card back next month.
I'm sure
So,
there is.
I'm
There's
I'm
gonna
sure they'll
expecting
eventually
it to
work
be.
on it. Yeah.
I expect there
Yeah.
to be a Gnome card back just to add it in there.
So
But the game, I got a game in, and my
I
wife
was unfortunately
destroyed
not
me.
able to get a game in, but obviously I'm not a huge. I'd rather collect the cards, which gives me 120 cards to collect now because I've already got them all. I'm working on gold cards,
Right.
but like this is another 120 cards that I can go collect now. I'm not much of a player of Hearthstone. I get the playing of it. I'd rather collect them because that means
Hey,
I've got.
Oh,
a collection.
Can't Heals, you were a Pokemon player, weren't you?
Yes,
I
he
have.
was.
I still have my Pokemon cards.
See, I don't play a lot of Hearthstone,
So
but
leave me
this expansion, especially after playing it, is gonna get me to play because a lot of the cards have a chaos random factor to them, and I like that.
Which is cool as far as the mechanics of the game goes. It changes things up, and I think everybody's worried about this RNG kind of thing with the tournaments and stuff like that. Which I can't remember who won the tournament at Blizzcon. I'm sorry if I forgot their name, but congratulations to winning the very first Hearthstone tournament.
Yes, congratulations
Firebat,
to
yes,
Firebat.
that's his name.
Thank you.
Firebat won. Congratulations on winning the very first Hearthstone World Championship tournament. But this to go against all the conspiracy about RNG and stuff like that. I think these cards having some random mechanical feature to them could really turn the tides of the game. So if you're like really far behind, one card in this mechanical deck could essentially put you back into the game. So it's
There's just so many cards here that were thrown out. I think 50 of them have been announced right now. So out of all that, and then every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I believe we're going to get a new card reveal. So in typical fashion, what we have done in the past, which we did for the next Ramus release, is we've showcased the cards that came out with that wing. Obviously, there's way too many to do that for today, and just the fact that there's been so much news already.
And we're all going on 2 hours with this show, which we...
Yeah, we're not even going to look into that for this particular episode, but it is something, maybe not every single card, but we will showcase some of the
Hearthstone cards in the
cooler,
coming
more
weeks.
unique cards. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as more and more get released, we'll start dealing with that. But the few that really just kind of stood out to me...
And before you get into that, look at this Twitter question. What was your favorite Goblin versus Gnome card that's been revealed from Goblin Graphics?
My favorite one
Those
that
two
is
were-
my favorite one that has been revealed is Voltron.
I
Which
agree.
one was that one?
If Mimiron's head is in the game, and there's
Okay.
an effect, when you put it into play, if you control 3 mechs, they will be destroyed, and you will gain Voltron, which is a 4/8 card, and it has Mega Wind Fury. It has Charge. Charge
Wow, what?
and Mega Wind Fury, meaning it can
That's
attack
really
4
Mega
times.
Wind Fury. Yeah, Mega
is-
Wind Fury allows you to attack 4 times.
What?
So OP.
But you need 3 mechs on the board, and you have to burn a 5 mana. Is it 5 mana, or is it 7 for Mimiron's head?
It's
Okay,
it's
but
5
so
mana for
If
Mimron's
you
head.
build you
Right.
build a deck based on these new cards, mechanical cards, and have the Memoron's head card, isn't that kind of easy
Well-
to set up the board?
Well,
to
no, because the way this is worded, and this we'll discuss this again when we get to it. But the way it's worded, at the start of your turn, if you have at least 3 mechs, destroy them and form Voltron. So that means the turn that you play Mimiron's head, it cannot become
Right.
Voltron. So you have to have Mimiron's head survive without being silenced or killed, and 3 of your mechs also need to fit these requirements by the time your next turn starts.
So it's not that I place 3 mechanical cards on my board and then they have their turn, I have my turn, and I play Memoron's head and it creates Voltron.
No, it's... Okay, I forgot the wording. It is, you need 3 mechs. They all have to survive until the next turn.
Well, I
Which-
understand that, but if I have all 3 of my mechs survive and I don't have Memoron's head on the board and I play Memoron's head,
No,
Don't I
it
get
doesn't matter.
next
It starts.
turn.
It's not a battle cry. It's at the start of your
Oh,
turn.
okay. It's not a battle
Yeah,
cry. Okay.
sorry, I thought it was a battle cry. But yeah, so basically at that point, if you can get through that turn and the enemy can't do anything about it,
Yeah, that's nasty.
they're gonna
Yeah.
get their face smashed in. That's 16 damage straight to the hero if they don't have taunt out.
I'm extremely excited for this. The cards are going to be, they're going to cost 100 gold for the packs, the same thing. You're going to get to choose if you want to buy the classic pack or the Goblins versus Gnomes pack. However, Arena, you don't have the luxury of choosing. You will always get the Goblins versus Gnome pack from playing Arena.
Yeah.
I spoke to Ben Brode himself. I waited in line. The only reason why I even waited in that Hearthstone line to speak to the developers is because Ben Brode was there. And dude's really cool. And he said that they don't. The part of the limitation on that was they don't have a UI in place to be able to do something like that, and two, that a lot of their top Arena players and people jumping into the Arena to begin with, because it's not like Arena isn't like a new player feature. Like new players are gonna play, constructed. That's typically what they're gonna play, but. The Arena, while it is casual and new players can play casual, they said most of the people that will be playing that, I don't think it was him specifically that said that, but somebody on the panel said that you're going to always get whatever the new one, and that continues on for the next expansion after that and after that and after that.
Mm-hmm.
So Arena's just going to be for the new stuff.
Which makes sense.
Right.
In the long run, it makes sense.
I would have like a
to
token,
offer
though,
those.
to make your choice,
I wonder if that'll come down later. Obviously they probably don't have it for this first expansion, but I wonder if they'll work on it to, almost do like the adventure mode thing. But when you click on Arena, you can pick the card set that you want to use for Arena, and it only places you with those people that use that card set. So like,
Right.
obviously, people are gonna like vanilla Hearthstone and like those cards. Okay, well I like that. I want to play that in Arena. You go in, you click on Arena. Okay, well which expansion do you want to play in Arena? Vanilla, Goblins versus Gnomes, Ice Crown if that's what I'm playing or whatever. But that'd be something that they could put in the future.
Right.
I also asked about if we would see any adventures this time through, and he redirected the question. Ben Brode redirected the question. Goes, is that something you'd like? So
Obviously we're gonna get an adventure mode for Goblins versus Gnomes.
I suggested, not that my one opinion made any dent on this, but I suggested Ulduar would be a very good fit for a Goblins versus Gnomes.
That would make sense, wouldn't it? Just because
would.
the theme of that raid, that would make so much sense for them to do that.
Yeah.
Especially with the fact that they're including Mimran's head in this and Voltron.
If they don't do it, I'll be very surprised.
XT is a legendary card.
I
think I broke it. Sorry.
You better say that when I play him.
Better say that. I'm sorry to cut this off. We do got to move on a bit.
The only other thing I just wanted to mention real quick was the addition of what did they call it now? I just totally lost it because Mike cut me off. Spare parts.
Oh yeah, spare parts. That was that.
You get minions that when their battle cry or their death rattle effect is you'll draw a spare part, and it could be anything. They're like 1-mana spells that these things create, and it's not just limited to your mechs. You could use it on any minion. It's anything from give a friendly minion stealth until your next turn, to give it 1 additional health, freeze a minion,
1 attack,
give a minion
swap health,
swap. Yeah. And my favorite was, I believe it was Time Rewinder, where it actually returns the minion to your hand.
Yep.
So,
a lot of
can
good
you
stuff.
imagine doing that to Voltron?
Oh, good God.
You get to attack with Voltron, use Time Rewinder, put it back into your hand. Voltron in his final form cost 8 mana, so you still have enough mana to drop him again and play him, allowing you to attack 8 times with him in 1 turn.
Anyway. 2 last
Nasty
topics.
combo.
We have 2 last quick topics, and then a really, really quick question from someone, and then rapid fire Twitter questions, and we're done. So this shouldn't take too much longer. I apologize for the long run time here, guys. But
We
thanks
knew
for
this was going
we
long.
knew it, but
We-
everybody,
yeah.
we love you. Thank you for sticking with us this long. So, quick mention of the Warcraft movie. they had a screening there of, the trailer that they showed at, what was it, Comic-Con?
Comic-Con.
And then they had a scene involving Duratan talking to his.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just keep this nice, short, and sweet. All your hopes and
Hold on.
dreams for this movie are coming true. This is going to be the best movie you've ever goddamn seen.
Okay, if orcs were real things, this is what they would look like. It was so amazing, the CGI. It was chilling. How good.
Cage himself over here could not have said it better. If you go on Legendary Pictures YouTube channel, there's a spot from Cage where he actually goes, "Wait, there was CGI in this?"
Yeah,
let me
good.
myself for a minute.
Good.
Let me pipe up for a second. Let me talk. So yeah, we came out of that film, and it was, I swear to you, it was like watching a 5-minute film that was polished and finished.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell where the CGI started in the actual movie, where they did the actual raw footage, stop, because it was just so clear. I mean, you can see the pores on his face.
You could see pores.
You can see the emotion just oozing out. It was just, it was. I don't know how much we're allowed to talk to. Well, whatever, we'll talk about it anyway. I'm not showing it. There was 20 seconds where we're just staring at his face.
At Duratan's face.
And he's just emoting.
It's
and
fucking
showing, you
good.
can tell
Sorry for my language, but it's good.
The pain. You can see the pain coming out of his face.
You felt it. Yeah, it was
so,
it was so good.
Awesome. But you know what was
as
the
a
best
huge
part?
fan of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and as excited as I've been for not only Lord of the Rings but now The Hobbit, I just sat there and
it destroys
I'm
all the CGI in those movies.
Honestly,
I'm not an Alliance player by any means, but that opening scene when they showed, and it's just the overview of Stormwind, the hair on my arm stood up.
Everybody in the theater was
insane.
like, I heard when they showed Stormwind, it zoomed over, and all of a sudden you hear, and excuse the language, from the back of the theater, "What the fuck?" was the exact reaction that everybody was just like.
It looked like Stormwind. It
shut your brain off. It was so good.
It was. They're literally taking this movie to heart and making it. And everybody's got their worries over video game movies and stuff like that. Trust me, this movie is in good hands. It looks phenomenal.
Right.
This is going to be that movie that turns Warcraft around for people that have hated on the video game and have not understood why so many people play this game and they rag on people like that. When this movie comes out, it's going to blow box office records.
It's going to destroy records. Yeah, it's so good. Anyway, moving on. I tried to do this earlier in the show and I got what do you call it? Bypassed something. Tunnel visioned. No, you told me to do it later. So here we go. This is a video question sent in to us by Jakeinator, who could not be here tonight, and he usually is. So we're going to play this for you. It's a short clip. Here we go.
Hello, Battle Talk. Jakeinator here, calling live from Azeroth. If you're seeing this, it means I'm unable to call this week, but you still deserve a question. So here I go. Where will you be when the expansion hit? Will you be at the Dark Portal? Or perhaps camping out a rare while people is off rushing to Draenor? Or perhaps will you be among the laters after the initial rush has worn off? I know where I will be. I will be probably late to the party. It's a Monday at college and I have some work to do. So I will take my good time when I finally get to Draenor. Stay in touch, guys. Jakeinator out.
And thank you, Jake, for that question. The gist of it, where will we be when the expansion launches? I will be in bed because I have work in the morning. My character will probably be in Orgrimmar.
I already
I will be sitting on the...
Vol'jin.
I will be sitting on the character select screen because last time you couldn't zone into Pandaria unless you relogged.
There was that.
Well,
so I will be sitting...
Unless I can get a cab or a ride to the airport, I'm going to be stuck right here at BlizzCon.
Tony, man, start walking to Irvine. Get ready for that launch party.
Yeah, just go to Irvine and go to the release.
They got free Wi-Fi in the hotels here. So,
true.
So there you go. No, actually, I'll probably be just sitting at home. I'm going to take a long nap tomorrow. so that at midnight I can just kind of power through and try to get halfway to 100.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
I see a question in chat that asks, when will they release the video that we saw at BlizzCon for the
Duratan.
Warcraft cinematic? And the Duncan Jones has said that it's a problem of convincing the old school that the new school is the way to go. So apparently his higher ups and all that kind of stuff feel that they can't release that kind of stuff to the public for old school reasons.
Here's the thing that I've been told with the Warcraft movie. Legendary doesn't necessarily want to focus on the people that love Warcraft and understand Warcraft and stuff like that. They already know they're going to get our money to go see this movie. They're worried about the people that don't like Warcraft, don't understand Warcraft and stuff like that. That's their main focus. That's who they need to sell this movie to. And in order to do that, it's pretty much our job to sell this movie
to them.
Not even to Legendary, to the people that don't understand.
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
It's our job to do that.
They know there's going to be 10 million tickets at least on opening weekend. They know that.
Yes. It's all
any Warcraft players going to go see this movie. So
I'm going to go see it twice.
Yeah.
It's they're worried about the people
on opening
that
night.
Understand, and that's where they need to make their money from, is the people who don't know about Warcraft or know what this movie's about.
Only know Warcraft from World of Warcraft, and like this is not where the story is picking up from. So
exactly
great for even World of Warcraft fans.
Anyway, I'm sorry, we're all running just close to 2 hours here. Rapid fire Twitter questions.
Keep going.
I know. I would love to. Anyway, we're just going to start at the one end of my Twitter question lineup and go to the other. And they're going to be in no particular order. I apologize. Here we go. From Cronexivus, we have one more question for GBN Live. This is one directed directly at Zista. Who did you have to blow to get in the credits of the documentary? Well, we didn't mention that. Go look at the Looking for Group documentary. It is an hour long. It is a great look into the development of Warcraft, and
just the history behind the game. If you don't care about, Warcraft in general, just go watch it just to get the history of World of Warcraft.
Right.
It was a really good documentary, and to answer the question how I got in there, a few of the
I forgot to.
I don't want to say prominent people, but a few of the personalities that are out there were approached and were asked to submit some videos and content and stuff for that. Not everything made it in. I had a little moment about my favorite moment in Zul'Gurub back from Vanilla WoW, and I will actually throw that up on my YouTube page if I can. I'm not sure the legality of that because I did have to sign an NDA. So, if I can do that, we'll do it.
Yep. All right. Next question from Dude a Wild Thing. What is the first thing you're going to do when the expansion goes live?
Start chugging Monster.
Probably going to be changing a tie rod or a catalytic converter or something like that.
I'm gonna hit accept quest.
At 3 a.m.
I'm gonna.
Oh, at 3 a.m. No, I'm gonna be sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He works early. Leave him alone.
I'm gonna be logged into my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Zista, and I will be leveling. That's the first thing I'm doing.
Picture
I'm
question.
gonna power level, and I'm gonna try to get to level 100. Not server first or anything, but I'm gonna try to be the first level 100 in the Game Breaker Nation guild.
I think you and I should do that, Zista. You should work on that.
My goal is to be 100 and geared by Sunday.
I don't know about 100 and geared by Sunday, but 100.
My goal is to be that by Friday night.
Oh God. Next question. Picture question from Goofy Spartan. What is Arthas doing in Pandaria? I don't know. Being a bitch. Hell,
isn't he dead?
Yeah, isn't he dead?
He doesn't deserve. No, he's not dead.
That's clearly the costume.
Yeah.
It's clearly not the costume.
Oh, God. Lack, I am so sorry we don't have more time for this question, but I will ask it quickly anyway. From Lactarded, given that Warlords is creating an alternate timeline, do you think Blizzard could or would make a Warcraft 4 off of said timeline?
No.
There recently was a question on MMO Champion which stated that there is an alternate Draenor. Does that mean there's an alternate Azeroth as well? And they answered, yes, there is.
if you read,
called-
But we will not be
Okay.
exploring it in this expansion.
no, there was a early that Hell's whatever it was called. It was the it was a short story released a few weeks back about Garrosh's first, when he got to Draenor with Kairos and everything, and his moments leading up to meeting his father and everything before the cinematic. And Kairos said, I picked this particular time way. So out of all of them, I picked this particular one because it had the right balance of variables for our plan to succeed. And one of those variables is Garrosh Hellscream was never born in this timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
Well, if we kill Grom at the end of this expansion, then there could be no Garrosh.
No,
So-
Garrosh was already born when the orcs drank the demon blood. So
Well, they didn't drink the demon blood in this one, did they?
no, they didn't. Anyway,
This could be a show in itself. The lore
I know.
discussion.
Goofy Spartan goes with any tips for staying up late for the expansion launch, and what kind of energy drinks you should be drinking. We here at
Monster.
Gamebreaker cannot condone the overconsumption of energy drinks, as they can possibly kill you if you drink too many at once.
Just drink coffee, man. Coffee actually has more caffeine than most energy drinks do. Than
Good
Red
thing
Bull
I got a
does.
lot of coffee.
Yep.
I've got Krispy Kreme coffee. I haven't tried it yet.
Yep.
I personally prefer the taste of Monster, but
know what,
I found the best thing to do is to stream, because you have people to talk
You
to
have
and
people
interact
talking
with
to
all
you the
night. You're
entire
not
time.
sitting there by
The
yourself.
truth is,
Yeah,
though,
so
just
if you can't do
stay-
that, get and mumble.
Stay away from simple sugars. Drink, eat a lot of complex like fruit. That's gonna give you energy throughout, man. That'll
Yep.
keep you actually up.
Some health and
Yep.
nutrition advice
Yeah.
for staying awake. Next question from Omikins. After seeing more things about Warlords this weekend, what is your confirmed stance on lack of flying in Draenor? Keep it, we don't need it.
Thank God.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Draenor is beautiful.
You're gonna get it in 6.1 or 6.2 anyway. So
No.
enjoy it while you don't
I
have
hope
it.
think
we
we
never
are.
get it. I
Don't
hope
need
we
it.
never
You
get
I
it.
hope,
don't need
no,
it.
I hope we get it, but I hope we don't get it till 7.0.
Yeah, I
just hope
agree.
we don't get it in Warlords. I agree with the fact that they're like, this changed the way our gameplay stance went with World of Warcraft. I
Yep.
firmly agree with them on do not allow flying in Warlords.
Yep. Anyway, next question. I'm running out of time here. Goblin Graphics, do you like that Hearthstone is keeping the same currencies, gold and dust, for Gnomes and Goblins expansion?
Yes.
Yes.
I like it. It's very simple,
Simplicity.
it's clean, and anytime you add an additional currency, it overcomplicates things. So
Yep.
leave it alone. It's working fine.
Exactly. Next question. And to answer chat, yes, I'm awkward right now because I'm rushing because we're going on over 2 hours, and we like keeping the show to less than 90 minutes.
We don't have a time limit.
No, but it's we have an unofficial
Omi?
time limit. Hi,
Really?
Omi. If you had to place the Overwatch heroes, God damn it, Nikki, this is a freaking show in and of itself.
If you had to place the Overwatch
Reaper's Horde.
heroes, it's a Horde.
Reaper's Horde, that's all that
Okay,
matters.
okay, here we
Yeah.
go. On the poster. Let's see.
Oh, don't even go to the poster.
Alliance,
Just-
Alliance.
If you're wearing
Horde,
black,
Horde,
you're on Horde.
Alliance,
If you're wearing brightly
Horde,
colored things, you're on
Horde,
Alliance. That's how it's going to work.
Horde, I don't know. Alliance, Horde,
Couldn't even hear what Mike
no
said.
idea.
I don't know. If you're wearing black or a dark colored
There you
uniform
go.
or something like that, you are Horde. If you're wearing bright colors, you're Alliance. That's how it's going to work. That's how it's always
that
going
is
to work.
so racist.
I
Well, you know what? That's how things
No,
gonna-
no, no.
it's
See,
gonna
this
work.
was embedded in our minds way back when we watched the Power Rangers cage. That's
Yeah.
what this comes down to.
Oh, did you guys see the pictures of the Pink
You
Power
know
Ranger
that the Green Ranger is that dude that walks around wearing the green hoodie, like around the Angel Grove bar. And the
God.
Red Ranger's the one with the red shirt on. Like,
Always wear the colors.
clearly.
Hold
God.
on.
Yeah.
Did you see Amy Jo Johnson playing guitar at full Power Ranger pink
I
gear?
did. That was amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That was amazing. Anyway, off topic. We only have one more question. Where do you think the inspiration for Overwatch comes from? From TF2 Monday Night Combat or Heroes of the Storm? God damn it, Omi, with all your questions.
Oh, TF2.
Left
TF2
4
with a-
Dead.
A lot. Everything. All other shooters ever made in existence.
The mix of Left 4 Dead with a little mix of MOBA Hero of the Storm, kind of with the heroes, but that's about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Heavy set on Team
StarCraft
Fortress
Ghost.
2. And StarCraft Ghost.
Yup.
You know what? StarCraft Ghost.
Yeah, I started our outro music. There we go. So, yeah, so much talking on top of each other. Like I said, we're trying to end this show before 3-hour mark.
Hey, man, we still got 40 more minutes to go. 50 more minutes.
Thank
No
you,
more- no
everybody,
more
for
40
watching and bearing with this epic dump of information that is post BlizzCon.
Mine.
This is what we get for doing an entire Blizzard show instead of picking one.
Even if we did just Warcraft, we would have been talking about the other games in itself.
Exactly. So we got it all out. We didn't get all of it out. We got most of it out.
There is still so much more information we could have gotten into with everything. The best thing you can do is something. Go, and if you got the virtual ticket, go watch the panels on BlizzCon.com. If not, check out MMO Champion or the Game Break TV site. They've got rundowns of all the news that came. If we missed something, or if you want to delve deeper into something that we talked about, please go check out those sites.
Well, you also need information for next show too. So
yeah,
they'll be broken down throughout the next.
It's going to be freaking all about Warlords.
We're going to go more in depth as these shows go on, and like I said, next week we'll have a lot more diving into like the Hearthstone cards and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
All right, so end of show formalities. Cody, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at @Can'tHeals with a Z. I can't believe we keep doing that every week.
I know.
It's spelled somewhere right there,
down here.
And then Thursday, Warlords launch 24-hour stream, twitch.tv/Can'tHeals. I will be streaming with Zista, who is on my caddy corner.
There you go.
That way.
Dom, drinking out of your sippy cup you got at the restaurant.
The sippy cup.
Where can they find you? The multiple places they can find you.
You can find me there. Yes, there. At Zista, XIZTA, with an underscore at the end. And you could also follow me on YouTube. For these podcasts, you can get me on Dead Zista if you want to go back and catch the archives. But if you watch TV shows, Walking Dead, Once Upon a Time, Supernatural, American Horror Story, anything like that, make sure to check me out on YouTube/ASOTV Podcast, where we discuss each episode every week in depth. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun we have doing that. Very special guest, Cage. Where can they find you?
You can find me at Cage of Hell. I'm at BlizzCon right now.
There you can find BlizzCon.
Yeah, right in the front steps of the fountain with all these people.
Are you sitting in the fountain?
On Twitter. You can find me on Twitch at Cage of Hell. You can find me on Facebook, Cage of Hell. You can find me YouTube, Cage of Hell. Pretty much everywhere, Cage of Hell.
Yep, there you go.
So find me. And if you find me in real life, I'll give you $1.
And $1.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to BlizzCon right now. I want the $1.
You can find me on Twitter at Philidrin right there. You can also find me with Dom on the As Seen on TV podcast. And you can find me as Horde GM for the Gamebreaker Nation Guild, which all of us are a part of. If you want some more information, you can check us out on GamebreakerNation.com. We have a lot of forums there for everything, and we play pretty much everything together. So I guarantee we play a game that you play. So drop us a line, join us, and before we end, I want to give a very special thanks for Veriphage, one of our regular viewers. It was so nice to meet you at BlizzCon. Some random guy ran up to us at the Wowhead party and recognized us.
That was so cool.
It was all because of the pink hat.
It was all because of the pink hat. It really was.
He's like, "Sister!"
No.
You guys have no idea how handy this thing came in.
Yeah, we couldn't lose him.
You're lucky that guy that you knocked out didn't understand that you were wearing that pink hat to pick you out.
We'll get to that in post-show, guys. Anyway, like I said, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with us for this long show. And we'll see you next week, 6:30 Pacific time. Same place.
Hi, I'm Can'tHeals.
Hi, I'm Mike.
Hi, I'm Zista.
Hi, I'm Cage.
Have a good night, everybody.
Hi, I'm Zista.